Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Da, 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 da. Happy Friday to everybody. Welcome to the show. How is everyone doing? Though I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I hope you guys are doing great and everything is great with you. Yeah? How na dey now? Wetin dey happen? Wey dey play? Yeah? Any plans for the Friday? Hmm. Sorry guys. Sorry about the break in transmission there. I'm trying to my other device. I don't understand what's going on. What's happening here? But yeah, Eunice is the first. Oh. Uh-oh. See. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How's everybody doing? Eunice, happy Friday to you, my darling sister from another mother. How is your neck of the woods? How's everything going with you? Eh? What's the plan for this Friday? Where the party they happen? What's happening? Eh? Where's the party taking place, man? Mona show me the way. Where the party they shell? Eh? Where's the party going on at? What's happening? Eh? Abeg o, wanna show me the road o. Those wey know road make dem show me the road o. Eh? How has your Friday been? I want to hear the gist. How has your Friday been? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing well. Eh? Sorry, I'm trying to line up the videos I have planned for you guys. Yeah, Heart Desire, yay! Desmond, yay! Yay, yay, yay! How's everybody doing? Happy Friday to you all. Please bear with me as I line up the videos for tonight. Prince, welcome, welcome. You have a date with your books, right? Eunice! Yes, so that's the way, my sister. That's so we see am. That's how we see it over here. Eh? Abeg, Mona give me gist o. Wetin dey happen dis Friday before we start dis show? Mona give me gist abeg. Me wan hear gist. Wetin dey happen now? Wetin dey play? Where the party dey shele? What's up? What's up? Eh? What's up, guys? Where the party at? Where's the party happening at? Yeah? Okay, bear with me. I wan pull up. E get one video when I save. Let me make I see my thing here. When I save, when I want make we work together. Where is it? I can't seem to find it. What happened? What happened? Mm. see. Maybe it could pop up somewhere, 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 somewhere. Okay, all right. I think I found it. Yep, I found it. I really want us to start with this video today. Let me first play. No, let me play my anthem first. That will ginger all of us up. We need to play. I want to hear our VP fire us up with some, so that we'll be ready for the night because that's my anthem now. I'm sorry I didn't tally this up before we started the show today. My day, I was running a bit late today because I had like a number of things to catch up with. So okay, let me see. Let me line this up. Let me present it. Welcome, Mr. Desmond. Oh, don't worry, I will add you momentarily. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Mr. Ishaluwa, welcome. Oh, it's good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Let's see.
Can I comment? Go ahead, please. This document you read is not a puzzle. It is in English. O levels that you wrote and I wrote and the justices and everybody that is a candidate wrote. It is law. The law is not a game for politicians to play. This document is not available for Yakubu to interpret that day. It is there for him to follow. The English is very clear.
guys, wait, you guys can't hear the video? Are you serious? Wait, are you guys just joining? Mirabel and Rahim, are you guys just joining and you're catching player?
We are not
Because,
hearing anything. Everything is it just black. I was trying to talk to you, but you're not hearing even.
oh my God, are you
We
serious?
we don't hear you. It's just been quiet.
Yeah.
Do you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
When I was playing the video, did you guys see it? Did you guys hear
No,
it?
you started playing it and then like in a second it just went off.
Are you
That's right.
serious? That
That's
is
Yeah.
exactly
strange. And it
that's
was
exactly what
playing
happened.
very well over here. Oh my God.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, let me play it again.
Okay,
Greetings.
I'm getting out. I just came in to let you
To
know that
tell
we
me,
couldn't hear
oh,
you.
you're a
Yeah,
sweetheart. Thank you so much.
no problem.
Really
All right,
appreciate
cheers.
you. Cheers. All right, so I'm going to play it again. Sorry, oh, I'm really
Bring them back.
sorry. My people, Mokuna no
Yeah.
verse for me, I
All right.
beg.
So take them
Oh
to
no.
uh,
Okay, let me just start this from here. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm going to ask. That is super weird. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
your screen. We can see your screen right now, but it's not
Okay.
playing.
Yeah, it's not playing. So you see Ahmed Dati,
Yeah,
right?
I see you already gone half already, but nobody will listen to one part of it.
Yeah, no, so
They're
it
gonna
was
go
I was
back from
actually
beginning.
starting. I wasn't going to play everything. It was just that point I was going to start from. So let's play it again.
Not a careless, reckless speaker.
Can you hear it now? I beg, I need to know. Did you people hear it when I started playing it? Did you people Mr. Desmond? Hey, Mr. Desmond, you supposed to tell me you did studio now.
I am working with the Constitution there, that document, right, you just read. I'm following it. And I dare to tell you that swearing in Tinubu and Shetima is as good as swearing in the Nigerian army on 29th of May. If you swear in people that have not satisfied the requirement, you have, by so doing, ended democracy. The crisis I'm telling you now is that this, our democracy, is going to end by the way we are going. This democracy is going to end on the 29th of May, 2023. Please write it.
Those are extreme.
You know my
those
name.
are extreme thoughts.
I am very, very happy to say it.
No,
You know
no,
my
those
name.
Are, you know,
You
yes,
introduced
hold on.
me.
Yeah.
Listen, don't stop.
Those are, no. I will, because those are extreme thoughts. You know why? Because there are allowable language to be used on television, especially as it relates to our nation and the unity of this
Put
country.
your question and let me answer you. Put your question. I know what I'm saying.
If there is an official,
if you breach the Constitution,
but is it not left to the court to decide otherwise?
This is already decided by the courts.
But the authority in charge of the election gave a declaration.
If you are afraid for some things, don't ask for them.
I am not afraid. I will, as a citizen of the country, by the ethics and the guidelines of my profession, live by it.
Yes.
What is lawful? And I hope that you're a lawful citizen of the country.
Very, very
and so whatever the stipulation of the law guides, that if you are aggrieved about something, you go to the court to seek redress, isn't it?
This document is a product of the legal system. It has been signed into law by the President, Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria. I believe in this document. That is why I'm so lawful. That is why I'm so confident. And that is why however extreme it is, Sheung, I am saying it on national TV. I don't like to take risks. I'm not taking any risks. Swearing in a ticket that has not met the constitutional requirements of the Constitution, okay, is ending democracy. Quote me on it.
That's your interpretation.
That is my interpretation, and that is indeed a correct interpretation. You cannot swear people who have not met the constitutional requirement. You can't do that. If you did it, you have done something unlawful, something unconstitutional. And I'm repeating it. Whoever does not meet the constitutional requirement must never be sworn in. You said my name. If you like, I can say it again. I'm Dati Baba Ahmed. I'm not taking risks. with my safety and with my life. But I'm repeating, swear in anybody who does not meet the constitutional requirements of our country, you are engaging in an unconstitutional act. Mr. President, do not hold that inauguration. CJ and your lordship, do not partake in unconstitutionality. I am taking these risks for the sake of my country. Yes, it is extreme, and I'm saying it. It was more extreme for Yakubu to issue that certificate. It was reckless. He is putting all our lives in danger. All of us were already at risk. So what is there again in me taking risks again? What have they not done against Nigeria? What have they not abused in Nigeria? Now they'll take the constitution where it is clear, it says, and get 24. After that, and FCT. They failed to get it. They are going to swear this man in, and I should be afraid? I will not be. I'm telling you that on the 29th of May, 2023, swear in Tinubu as this result is, you have ended democracy, whoever you are.
I mean, you say you're a lawful citizen.
I am.
So the judiciary...
The law in me is why I'm saying this.
Yeah, so the judiciary is the hope of the masses, is the hope of...
Okay, that's that for that. There's another video that I want us to watch before we start talking. This is very important because I think it will give us a look into let me know if you can see my screen. Oh, I beg. I don't want what happened earlier to happen again. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, there. We're there.
Okay, thank you.
Is that there is a realization that it cannot continue this way. We have what it takes to fix it. And the conversation is already begun on what do we realistically do to be able to get the African Union to take charge of the affairs of our continent. Let me give you a case in point. We decided, for example, that we are going to assemble our market using the Africa Continental Free Trade Area market.
Yes, that's good
ecosystem.
Yeah.
And the positive thing is that it was unbelievable at the rate at which we were able to achieve consensus and we were able to achieve ratification. And I want to tell you, it is among the things that happened in the shortest time possible. It tells you there is greater realization that unless we act in concert, unless we act together, we are unlikely to make any impact anywhere. We have, at least on the market issue, we have put that together. There is a debate that is going to evolve. Like, for example, we have also decided that it will not going to be business as usual. We have these meetings, Africa, US meeting, Africa, Europe, Africa, Turkey, Africa,
India.
Now we are waiting for, there is another one, Africa, Russia.
And Africa, Japan.
And Africa, Japan. We have made the decision that it is not intelligent for 54 of us to go and sit before one gentleman from another place. And
folks, will you help me start my campaign off strong by donating today? Every generation has a moment where they have...
I mean, and sometimes we are mistreated.
Yeah.
You know, we are loaded into buses like school kids. You know, and it's not right.
Well, you have some of, you know.
It's not right. So the decision that we have made as AU is that going forward, if there is going to be a discussion between Africa and any other country, we are going to be represented by the chair, the outgoing chair, the income, the bureau.
Chair of the commission or the chair
and the chair of the Rex, and we have 5 Rex. That should be sufficient for, I mean, a meeting of maybe 6, 7.
Yeah.
That should be able to represent Africa. And that is the position I am taking as the president of Kenya. For any other meeting that we are going to have with all these requests that we have a meeting between Africa and one other country. We respect the sovereignty of others. I think to ask for reciprocation is not to ask for too much.
No.
And for us to agree that let us have this kind of setup. The only, because I had a conversation with President Kagame and he actually led that particular position. I have had a conversation with Prime Minister Abiy. He believes very strongly that that should be the position of our continent. Because, as you have said, if we don't respect ourselves, nobody is going to respect us. And we should be able to take that kind of decision. Yeah. And part of that respecting ourselves is when we say African problems, African solutions, we must be serious about the solutions. It cannot be rhetoric. It cannot be talk. It must be accompanied by what realistically and practically we are doing.
And with our capacity, yeah. No, this is wonderful, but just one question. Why you having this discussion in closed rooms? Why don't you bring civil society, all those people in this discussion? Because we can also put pressure on our leaders or whatever to behave in a better way. African people need to tell their presidents, we care about Africa. That should be a priority. Unless we act really together, it doesn't work. And in the reform agenda of the African Union, if you and your colleagues are proceeding that way, there need to be really a serious discussion about the structures and how Africa is. And one problem is African countries refuse to cede any sovereignty to the African Union. So African Union cannot sign a trade agreement in behalf of Africa. Then the African Union go and meet the European Union. This is not balanced.
It is not.
Because those guys had
27 countries,
gave them sovereignty.
Yes.
But our guys here don't want to give any sovereignty, cede any sovereignty to the Union, as if, you know, this is something very fantastic they have to keep. When countries like Germany, like big countries, agreed to cede sovereignty to the collective body because they are smart. They think when they are together, they negotiate better deals.
Are you saying?
The only stupid guys, unfortunately, are the British who left that collection. But look, I'm free to say that because I'm also a British citizen, and so I have my views about what happened in Britain. I know we have British. Jane is there, the High Commissioner, and the Archbishop. And I have the minister here also. But do you agree with me it was a mistake to leave the European Union? You agree? You're going to lose your job, I think. Anyway, BBC is not here, don't worry. Nobody watch Kenya TV, so don't worry. Anyway, so no, it's not a joke. I mean, it is truth. I mean, it is a mistake. Together, we're stronger. We do things better. And that's what we need the African people to press their governments. We need to be stronger. We need to have our union. We need to cede some of our sovereignty for the African Union. I'm not losing sovereignty because our collective sovereignty is huge. Then we are somebody which can be respected around the world. We go out there in Europe, oh, we Africans. I want to ask you, seriously, what do you mean you are Africans? You are South African, you're Nigerian, what do you mean you are Africans? Where is your government?
If your business kept on employees through the pandemic, Innovation Refunds can see if it may qualify for a payroll tax refund.
With what decisions you are able to make? What is Africa? Unless we have an African Union and a joint, a will, and then it doesn't work. So you made commitments now in front of all these people who are going to fight for that case. Is that correct?
You have my commitment, and not just me, by the way. I think a critical mass of African leaders is building. on how we should act together. I told you this particular position of consolidating what we need to do and how we need to engage with the rest of the world was actually driven by President Kagame.
Excellent.
We've talked with many other heads of state, and I think there is a critical mass emerging that we need to act differently. We need to work smart. Let me tell you of an unfortunate situation. I visited one of the countries, I don't want to say which one, and we were having a conversation about the economic partnership agreement between EAC and the EU.
Yeah.
The EU, 27 countries, 520 million people have agreed on what we need to do. EAC, well, sizable, 170 million people. Then one country, and I don't want to say which one, refused to sign. So he said, no, we need to teach these people some lesson. So I'm listening. Your country has 11 million people. What are you going to
Now we know
teach?
the country.
So what are you going to teach 520 million people who are supposed to serve as your market? Really? So sometimes we undermine our own case because of not acting properly. So I want to promise you that it is our challenge. The realization alone that we have a problem is halfway the solution from where I sit. So we know that we have to change stuff. We know that we have to act in a manner that makes sure that we secure our interests, because the whole discussion, the whole discourse is about interests. What is our interest? How do we protect our interests? Because everybody protects theirs.
Yeah.
So this is awakening, and I think the engagement of Africa with the rest of the globe is going to change. That is why, for example, we are having the Climate Action Summit, because we want to go to the UN. We want to come to the UN General Assembly. We want to go to COP28 with an African consolidated position, speaking with one voice, the whole lot of us, so that people can know we know what we want, and we will not back down.
This is wonderful. If any value to this discussion is, I think we reached some interesting commitment from the president here. No, it's useful, the commitment made by the president. My only suggestion is that mobilize the people, have trust in the people, because the pressure from the people can help produce. Get the civil society into your summit. Get them to press their governments to really to move behind you in this agenda, because that has to happen. And until you get the people behind you, everybody will drag their feet. And that's the history of Africa.
I agree with you 100% that we need to mobilize the people to be with us,
Yeah.
to share the vision with us, to agree with us on the paradigm shift in what we need to do.
Yeah, we need
I agree with you. The civil society have a big role to play, because they can do sometimes what governments cannot do. And even in Kenya, we have a robust civil society. They have made a huge contribution to who we are today.
Yeah.
Sometimes as governments, we agree with them. Sometimes we don't agree with them. But that is the nature of life. All I ask of our good friends in the civil society space, including you, Mo, is always to look out for the interests of the people of our continent, and not sometimes to play to the gallery of the people who pay your check.
What are applauding for? What you guys are applauding for?
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to share your comments below and subscribe.
There's more. There's one more. At least for now. One more for now. factions of the Labour Party have held separate National Executive Council meetings. The Julius Abure-led faction is warning state chairmen to desist from anti-party activities or risk losing their seats, while the Lamidi Akpapa-led faction has continued to suspend certain officials. So, Sly, you have it from here.
We're now joined by representatives from both warring factions. Live here, Kenneth Okonkwo is a spokesman for the Abure-led Labour Party executive, and Abayomi Arabambi is the National Publicity Secretary for the Akpapa-led Labour Party executive. Kenneth, and good to see you all. And, you know, Nigerians are not too excited about this whole game, to the extent that they felt that the beautiful bride in the political scene is almost getting dirtied. Now, speak to us on what exactly this is about for your party. Kenneth?
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me, and thank you, viewers at home, for joining us. There is no faction in Labour Party, and I can tell you that outrightly, because you just cannot walk in from anywhere and arrogate powers to yourself and then begin to pretend that you have the power you do not have. In Labour Party, and I'm talking about the Constitution, it is the National Convention that elects or removes the national officers of the Labour Party, which is NWC. And I'm telling you, Article 13, 1BIV. And again, if there is any sudden vacancy in the national office, it is the National Executive Council that has the right to fill the vacancy. And I'm talking about Article 13, 2BXVI. And if there's a need to discipline any officer of the national level, it is only the National Executive Council that has the right to discipline. And I'm talking about Article 13, 2BXVII. You can check it in the Constitution of the Labour Party. So that people come to arrogate themselves and give themselves and allocate to themselves some position and call themselves. You have the right to call yourself anything. Did you see the Labour Party National Convention elect any of those people that are parading themselves as national officers of Labour? That's why you cannot call them a faction. You call them the national officers of Labour Party. And let me make it clear. The person you introduced me with now, I say it publicly. He has never been the publicity secretary of Labour Party. And you will ask him, please, how did he come to be answering publicity secretary Labour Party? Because
right,
I know that no national convention elected him. And I know no national executive council brought him. He was a nominee of the national chairman who employed him to be his own personal assistant, putting him on probation. And when the national chairman saw that he was not fit to occupy the national office, he was not even recommended to NEC. So he has no right to come here and say he was ever the publicity secretary of Labour Party.
Okay,
let him tell us how he became the publicity secretary, because the law is clear.
Abayomi Arabambi, I'm sure you heard what Kenneth Okonkwo just asked. He's saying that you're not in any way or form a spokesperson of the Labour Party, having not been, so appointed. Then again, on the other hand, there are those who are saying that your faction, which is the Lamidi Akpapa faction, is actually being propelled by external forces, maybe some kind of monetary inducement or any other kind of inducement. You want to react to all of this?
Well, thank you very much. It is a normal norm in the world. No child can come and tell his father how his father was born. I have been in Labour Party 14 years ago. When I was the state deputy chairman in Ogun, Abure was the assistant state secretary in Edo State. I have served with our former national chairman, Barrister Danayao, our former national chairman, A.A. Salam, and the ousted one, Abure. So I will not want to dignify issue with Kenneth. Kenneth is just a staff for PO He's not a member. He was never registered anywhere. And I want to tell Nigerians that the problem we have in Labour Party is because we are under the siege of political buccaneers and predators. People that camouflage themselves in military uniform, and they came, to do a coup d'etat in Labour Party. We took our time not to be bloody with them, and what we have done yesterday was very simple. Our next meeting was a court martial, like they did in the military, because when you are a political person, trying to upstage the rightful and elected national officers, the way we treated them was that Kenneth Okonkwo had been suspended with others, because they claim they are with Mr. Peter Obi, and our action, is very legal. Now, on the question of we are being sponsored, I put it to them that they were the one being sponsored by the people.
A minute, I'll let you continue. Apologies, quickly here. You just said a moment ago that Kenneth Okonkwo is not a member of Labour Party but a staff of PO, and in the same breath, he's been suspended by Labour Party.
Yes.
Make clear that.
It is, he should not be making comments on the party like he said yesterday, calling Alhaji Apapa a clown. One of them, this Ifoma Obiora, I have the press statement here where he said he was even castigating the judge, that gave a ruling. It is not done anywhere. We are in the tribunal, for God's sake. When you say because the judge doesn't give a favorable order to you, you start criticizing. I have the paper. I was even thinking is the one. I wanted to ask him that was it the one that issued this statement, so that he can confirm it, because he said the judge allowed himself to be manipulated. He would have proven that to us. We have been seeing Kenneth, parading himself as a member. And he said it's from PO, the spokesperson here and there. For us, if they have given him cash somewhere, we, the authentic executive, are now saying you can no more in any capacity speak on behalf of Labour. And the answer, the reason is very simple. These are a group of people that want to make sure there is an unconstitutional way, to make Nigeria unstable. That is their mission. And that's why I said they came via a coup d'etat. We know when of them came, I was the very person that raised the issue that they are southernizing Labour Party. You came, set up a PCC where we have the chairman from the south, we have the secretary from Anambra, we have the assistant PCC from Anambra, other people from Mimo. For God's sake, we are not APGA. We told them that Labour Party is a national party. Everything must be centralized, like the federal federal act.
You want to respond, Mr. Abambi? Would you allow us so that we can have a conversation here? Kenneth Okonkwo, first off, he's questioning your membership of the Labour Party in the first place. He's asking, do you have a membership card of the Labour Party?
No.
What exactly is the situation? And he says buccaneers and predators have taken over the party. Wonder who they are.
You have to really forgive me, but why I call them political clowns is that you can see.
No, but you need to respond to that.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can see that they will make you to laugh.
Right.
What other response? Your co-anchor has just made a statement that even some brilliant lawyers cannot make. How can you claim you suspended somebody and you're claiming he's not a member? Do you suspend somebody who is not a member?
Kenneth Okonkwo, you have the opportunity to clarify.
Now, the Labour Party, led by the chairman of the FCT, as a matter of fact, came to my office to register me with the ward chairman of Gariki and the ward chairman of Mbunano ward. They came to my office here in Abuja.
So you have a membership card?
Membership card in Mbunano ward. Yeah. And I've gone home. My people are with me.
Okay.
We won our elections, presidential and every election, in my polling unit, in my ward, in my local government.
Okay, so we can maximize
because he raised the hand of the APC governor in Ogun State, and he is there talking. He has not told you how he became the publicity secretary because he's not. I put a
My
poser to him.
my question is this.
So let him answer it.
No, the question, my answer to you is this. As a child, you can never know how your father was born. That is my answer for you.
If you are a man in Labour Party and you could not win your polling unit, and you're purporting to be the public secretary of your party, which man are you?
Gentlemen, I mean, we could spend all night going back and forth, but let's talk about that NEC meeting that held in Bauchi State. Ken, what do you have to say about that? Because that seems to have been held by the Apapa, led faction of the Labour Party.
Good. Well, there was no NEC that held in Bauchi State. What you had is, and I'm not the one who used this word, is the NLC chairman who called them rodents, not me. So what you had is some rodents looking for fish and some animals to peck because
you
they are
might have
giving.
to temper the
Good.
language so that
Very good.
let's be
So
civil.
what happened in Bauchi?
Right.
At the same time, the purported meeting is going on in Bauchi. All the chairmen and secretaries of Labour Party, we are meeting in the national office. The chairman and secretaries of all the states are members of the NEC. And if you don't have them, there are about 74 members because they are 36 plus 1. If you don't have them, how did you say you formed a quorum? And let me state it clearly, and I'm talking about Article 13, 2A, composition of the NEC. And Article 23 is very clear of Labour Party Constitution. If you don't have a quorum, you cannot have a meeting. So who and who were there? And talking about Bauchi, the old man that was there, parading himself as national chairman, my principal, the presidential candidate, said he doesn't know him. He has not met him.
He's actually quoted as saying that he's forgiven Peter Obi, Abure, and others.
He has forgiven who? What right do you have to forgive you for what? For what offense? Now, like I was saying, can you imagine a Bola Tinubu saying he does not know a Senator Adam? Can you imagine an article saying he does not know an Ayu? And the presidential candidate came out openly and said, I don't know this man. How can I not describe him as a clown?
So let's bring in Arabambi back again and quickly here the NEC meeting in Bauchi and the comment which Kenneth Okonkwo has just ascribed to the Labour NLC chairman. Speak to us on what exactly this was about, because many had thought that, well, you are moving towards your victory or otherwise at the tribunal if you all come together on the, one union.
Thank you very much. It is an indictment on the part of Mr. Peter Obi to say he doesn't know Apapa. In Nasaba, where we elected him, was Koko, a member of Labour Party then. He was with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it's an indictment about what we are saying. These are people that came to Labour Party to promote ethnic and religious bigotry. You are a presidential candidate. You won our primaries. And you came out to say you don't know the deputy national chairman who was elected in the Kwanga Convention. These are the history that he doesn't know. But our own point is this: if PO says he doesn't know, then he's not a presidential candidate. He's not supposed to even go to court in the first instance to claim you're a presidential candidate, because he showed that those of us that elected him, he was not validly elected. Because Okonkwo was not a delegate to Asaba, where we did our NEC. He was not a delegate. He was not even part of us. He was still busy, upneighboring with the APC. That one, settled that. If PO said he doesn't know Apapa, it's quite unfortunate. It's an indictment that he doesn't know what he's saying. He showed that PO doesn't know what he's doing at all for him to have come out there. But nevertheless, because we are leader in Labour Party, we do not want anything to happen to the case. That was why we have to pardon him, because it is settled in law. When an order is made, whether you like it or not, you are bound to obey that order. They went to Asaba, where a court restrained Abure from parading himself and 4 others. Those 4 people were on the high table in Asaba with PO and Alesoti and the vice president. But we have to pardon them so that nothing will affect that court case. And we are at that statement, not like most of the people that thought we are a bunch of young boys that they can just come and upstage. So we are forgiving PO. He's our candidate, even if he said he doesn't know us. It shows again, what is even the issue in Labour Party? You cannot regionalize Labour Party. Labour Party belongs to Nigerians of all the political zone. So
Okay,
not
so
two states
Mr.
will come
Rambi,
and be
very
running affairs
quickly,
of our party and we allow them.
very quickly, just like I asked you earlier, I mean, there are, in some quarters, some believe that all of this is aimed at scuttling Peter Obi's chances at the courts. As a matter of fact, some would even say that maybe there's financial inducement. And the issue of Lamidi Apa trying to withdraw the cases, the Peter Obi cases from the courts, you want to confirm that and react to some of the points made?
No, we have said that times that number that, that is life from the pit of the head. That is number one. You see, number two is this. You see a lot of them saying we are being sponsored, but all of you are privy and you witnessed the first press conference after the election. It was done by Nabure and Yosha Ayu. The party was not involved. But I speak to the Nigerian today that even a president candidate is being sponsored by Atiku. Abure is being sponsored by Atiku. That explains why, technically, do you know we are not challenging Atiku vote in the election petition tribunal? And do they think we are people that doesn't know what we are doing? If in the same election, they declare Chiwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner, they declare Atiku as the second, and Labour Party as the third, and we technically excluded Atiku because they have, an underwritten agreement which they don't want us to know, and that was why you see PO standing firm with Abure even despite all the indictment. So I tell Nigeria today that this group of people, Abure and even Peter Obi, are being sponsored underneath by Atiku. So we are not being sponsored by anybody.
Let's allow Kenneth react to this. He says you all have been sponsored.
Well, from his submissions, do I need to tell you again that he's been sponsored? If a man will tell you that he is interested in our winning in the courts, and he's not withdrawing the case, and he's telling in another breath that my principal is working with Atiku, does that not tell you that he is sponsored? They are a department of the ruling party. Look at men who could not contribute anything in Labour Party and they are flying on jets to go and visit who? Haven't you seen their pictures all over internet? He himself raised the hand of APC governor and supported him to win. He frustrated our producing a candidate in Ogun State. And in Lagos State, our producing National Assembly candidates in order to satisfy the yearnings of his paymaster, which is the APC.
Okay.
So the issue here is that how can they break into the national office and wanted to take over the national office? He is absolutely sponsored. And look at what he's saying. My principal is going to reclaim his mandate. That is what they are after. They are after the mandate.
Hold on, Mr.
Trying to frustrate it, and they will not succeed.
Mr. Arabambi, are you still in support of Peter Obi and his case, his attempt to regain what he says is his mandate?
Labour Party is not about Peter Obi, it's about Labour Party. The case in court, we will support all lawful means. Only all lawful means. But all this attempt by Kenneth Ogoko and co to cause a change of government or interim administration, Labour Party is not in support of that. But we will only stand with PO only on lawful terms. And I want to make it clear, PO did not give Labour Party a dime during the presidential election. No agents were paid. Party officials were not paid. We, as members of NWC, our photograph that we took with him, he has never given us one kobo. So for anybody to say we are flying private jet, now it's another statement.
That's why he went to the party that will be giving him
did
millions.
Not give Labour Party
and he's saying
one
he's not
dime.
paid, according to him.
Thank you so much. Kenneth Okonkwo, of course, of the Labour Party, and Abayomi Arabambi, the Lamidi Papa faction. Of course, Kenneth Okonkwo belongs to the Julius Abure faction.
Oh, please, he's not a
faction. Thank you very much, both of you. All right. Of the Labour Party, both of you gentlemen. So, now see, there's another follow-up to this video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to play it. It's also with this man, Arabambi, or whatever his name is. So let's quickly take on that before we start to talk. Mukuna no verse. O critical. Now today na Friday, Muna ready. I ready for now today.
Well, politics with its never-ending intrigues. Wednesday this week saw a new twist within the Labour Party because in Bauchi State, the Lamidi Akpakpa-led faction of the party held the NEC meeting. That's the National Executive Council meeting, where they made several resolutions. They suspended some members, they affirmed some others, and made some key decisions. But in faraway Abuja, the nation's capital, the NWC, loyal to the Julius Abure leadership, actually gave a press briefing asking Nigerians to discountenance the NEC meeting that held in Bauchi State, calling it illegal, unconstitutional, and the sorts. So, I mean, what do Nigerians believe? Don't forget the cases in court, the decision that came from the court in Abuja and the one from the court in Benin City. So let's just get a sense of where the Labour Party is right now with all of those back and forths. And we're joined on the program this evening by Mr. Yunusa Tanko, who's the chief spokesperson of the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council. There's also National Director Media of the Labour Party. He joins us live from our Abuja studio. Good evening, Mr. Yunusa Tanko. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, Kade. Good evening, Nigerians.
Good evening. And also joining us virtually is Mr. Abayomi Arabambi, who is the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party. Well, this is, they say, of the Lamidi Akpakpa faction, loyal to him. He joins us virtually also from Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Good evening, Mr. Arabambi. It's good to have you on the program as well.
Yeah, good evening, Nigerians. Thank you, Mr. Akawade.
Well, let's begin with you, because you held that NEC meeting against the background of the NWC loyal to Comrade Abure, saying that it is illegal, it is unconstitutional, and all of that. But just briefly tell us what came out of that NEC, and just how, will I say, justiciable is it?
Well, thank you very much. On the 5th of April, the Abuja NCTI Court gave the following that another of interim injunction is granted, restraining first to 4 defendants. That is Julius Abure, Farouk, Umar, Oluchi Okwara, and Clement Ojukwu. Their agents, previous, servant, employee, and representative, whatsoever and howsoever described from parading themselves as the national chairman, national secretary, national treasurer, and national organizing secretary of the 5th defendant, which is Labour Party, pending determination of motion of notice. That was the order of Abuja. Now, in Benin, Abure ran to court, and around 6 p.m. that day, this is the enrollment of order granted by the respected judge. Upon motion is filed by the claimant applicants, the Honorable Court, too, with granted an order of interim injunction restraining first, second defendant, which is the Ward Chairman and Ward Secretary of Oromi Ward, Ward 3, from submitting or transmitting the purported notice of suspension signed by the Ward 3 Executive of Labour Party. 2, another interim injunction restraining the 3rd defendant, which is Labour Party in its own case, from acting or executing and implementing the purported notice of suspension. Now, this is where we are going to distinguish the two.
Mr. Arabambi, I just want you to go straight to just some of those resolutions and how justiciable they are, essentially.
Yeah, the justifiable fact is what I'm bringing out. Now, the law is settled that where an order is made, you must comply with the order of the court, pending the discharge or overturn of the same. The court, in several cases, have decided, one, in the case of Nigerian Army versus Mowari in 1994, part 235, page 235, volume 345, there are no distinction exists between interlocutory or final order of duty to obey, comply with such order while it subsists. An order once issued by a court with requisite jurisdiction and competence must be obeyed by a party, even if, in his opinion, the order was perverse. Now, when you have an order that restrains you from functioning in an office, Abure proceeded to Asaba against court order on the 18th to go and make certain proclamation. And we know as a fact that Labour Party is law abiding, and that is why whatever they have done there is null and void, because that order has not been vacated. But the order in Benin said NWC should not receive the notice of of suspension. That was on the 5th. Something that had been submitted, that was done on the 30th, that was submitted to NWC on the 2nd. So what he did in Edo was to suppress fact before the judge that, oh, they have not done that. And the judge, in the opinion, has accepted that Abure have been suspended because the order was the NWC must not accept the transmission. Now,
just a moment, Mr. Obambi. You have laid the background. It's only fair to allow Mr. Eunice Atanko comment, specifically on those court cases you mentioned and the chairman, Mr. Julius Abure's position right now. So, Mr. Eunice Atanko, it's over to you now. Your response.
The biggest thing is that Lexicomp is designed for the dentist. The fact that it's going to have, how does it
Well, thank you very much. I want to say, ab initio, that this particular issue has no local standing right from the beginning, because this particular individual have had issues with the party, and individuals like my dear comrade there, Arabambi, has already been suspended from the party, and already him and Comrade Anselm, who are both part of the leadership of those particular group, but already do not have any particular legal backing. So you cannot put something on nothing. And with regard to the issue of going to court, the two jurisdictions, the two court cases were very much in consonant with each other. And then at the same time, Julius Abure obeyed the positions of the court. He went to the police station, make his positions known, and wrote a document is actually exonerating himself from the issue of forgery and making sure that there is no legal issue denying him of presenting himself as the chairman of the Labour Party. What took place in Asaba was very, very clear. And the decisions of the party was also very, very clear. This particular individual cannot continue to present themselves as leaders of the party because they have no local standing. Article 17 of the party is clearly stated that for a chairman of the party to be removed from office, there must be a national convention specifically called for that particular purpose. That was not ahead too. So in the beginning, they did not even form a quorum, not even to meet the threshold of the leadership of the party. So their own position is actually null and void. And that is the reason why the position in Asaba was very clear, giving Abure 1 more year to conduct a national convention, making sure that his status as a chairman of the party remains. And if you read very clearly, if you watch that particular position very clearly, these positions were read by Comrade Ilya, who actually make those particular statements. I decided to call Comrade Arabambi as a comrade because I thought they were people that believe in the cause of the party. But for them to have gone to this particular level, it shows that they are not really interested in building a party. And that, of course, is inimical and injurious to the survival of the party and its general. So, and that way, these issues have been dealt because they've gone very far beyond the thresholds of a normal people who believe in the system. So we are disappointed that they could go this particular because there are mechanisms to be dealt with within the thresholds of the party that will have dealt with these matters that they are raising. And I want to state clearly here that Abure has not conducted himself in any manner to be thought to have done any forgery because the person in question in the first place signed a form. That form was presented to INEC, and that particular INEC form would make him to become a candidate. Later on, the withdrawal was the same signature. And so if he claims that he himself did not sign in the first place, that means he is not a candidate ab initio. So it's very, very clear. So I think what Nigerian people should wait for, which we do not want to really delve in, because what they are doing is more or less causing a distraction, because we really want to focus on our case in the court. What we have decided to do was to ignore any part of this particular distraction that they are trying to cause into the system, and
Mr. Tanko,
let everybody wait.
So let's
on the 12th of May, the substance of the case will be dealt with in the court, and that will have killed the matter once and for all. So we will not face this particular issue of diversionary measure in trying to get the Nigerian people out of the way. Even if they are being paid to do so, I think they should forget about it because it's not going to hold water.
Well, just before Mr. Arabambi comes in quickly, just to be clear, so are you saying that the order from the Abuja High Court is not being obeyed, and Comrade Abure still remains the chairman of the party?
We obey the competent jurisdiction of the court. There are two court cases here, and we alluded to two of them, and we alluded to the same part. And I think that particular judgment in the case of Abuja, I want to believe was made in error, because the expertise orders mostly are made in defense of the persons in office. It's not to cause mayhem within the system. If you look at the way in which it's been coined, it's coined in such a way that the 7 days supposed to have expired, but that 7 days will say until the substances matter has been dealt with. If you look at the records of most of the judgment that have been given expertise, there's nothing that looks similar to that. But then we will give so much respect to our court case, and then our judges, but we will wait. And because we actually have asked for a kind of expertise motion to be on those particular cases. In fact, the case will have been dealt with since on the 5th of May, but it has been adjourned to the 12th of May. So I think Nigerians should wait for the 12th of May, and I think that will have been bye-bye to this particular distraction that they are trying to cause for our court case, and then trying to deny Peter Obi of a noble case that he has in the court.
Well, Mr. Arabambi, I mean, he's described this as a distraction, and he's talked about that forgery and perjury issue, which is at the heart of all of these litigations. And I wonder what your response is to that.
Well, thank you very much. See, the bunch of people with Aburi are people, that we thought they came to the Labour Party with genuine intentions. The comrade seated there knows fully well that his position was recognized now because of what is happening. We are members of the same political party. What causes the problem was because they were trying, even ab initio, to saturnize Labour Party. In the PCC that we formed, where did the DG come from? The South? The deputy, or Seluka, from the Anambra? The Secretary General from Anambra? Who does that? How many times has Tanko represented Peter Obi? They know the people they call. These are some of the things that we, the original Labour Party owner, we will not sit down to condone. Now, in their speech, which we have the video, let me tell you what they said. And they are in tribunal. They said, this is unfortunate because if it were not for the expertise order of the FCTI court, mischievously granted and sustained by Justice Amsa Muazu, which dangerously exposes the rest. That is where this is the party that is facing the party to danger. Abure was seated there and he called himself a lawyer, where a judge was being criticized that he mischievously. How was the judge mischievous? That the Minister Ezioko was substituted with architect Ukeagu, the owner of Barcelona. We went to police station. Ukeagu wrote a statement that is with the police that he gave 200 million naira to Olushakara. It's in the statement. And only two of them have gone to police to make statement. But why has Abure not been able to come out? Was that person not substituted? Now, if Comrade Tanko is telling me they obey court order, do you know, that immediately after we discovered, we went to federal court, we won. Who appealed the judgment? Abure appealed against that judgment. Definitely, he knew what he was doing. We won at the court of appeal. Abure appealed to Supreme Court. We won in the Supreme Court. Do you know what happened 3 days after? Peter Obi himself went on a sister television, arrived to say we don't have candidates in Ebonyi. After Supreme Court judgment, and yet we call ourselves a nationalist party. We are not anybody that any people will come from PDP and think we can be overrun. We have learned our lesson over time. Abure has been restrained, and thank God corporate said they are coming to court on the 12th. What are you coming to defend when you are already in contempt of the court?
why this matter lasted, Abure wrote a letter to INEC, which we have copied. Abure wrote 2 letters to INEC, one in case of Lagos, one in case of Rivers State. For God's sake, is it how we want to run our country? Well, when somebody come, you know, we back it to corridor, we say, oh, we admit you, go and see no more. That was not what Labour Party is all about.
Okay.
You have seen what they did in Asaba. Everybody they removed, they put Igbo people there. It's our party member for only Imo and Anambra people. That was not what we want. That's why PO himself, unfortunately said he doesn't know Apapa. But let me tell you, Apapa was the person that did the opening prayer. I have a candidate, the president candidate in that Asaba. When we elected him, I asked the guy to step down. The video are there. They said they don't know us. Does that mean it's our candidate? It's an insult for a man who just spent 12 months in a party to say you don't know such another statement, because himself and Abure, they have soiled their hands. A lot is going to come out. We have a lot of our money between them that they didn't release for the election.
How much is that? How much are you referring to, Comrade Urbanbi? Just how much?
PO is standing with Abure because they have a lot of things in common.
All right, let's get Mr. Tanko Yunus to respond to this, particularly the question about, you know, respect of courts, the judges, especially because there's a case now in tribunal. How do you respond to that?
And we only want to believe that that particular judgment was made in error, and I've stated it. So in answer to respecting the court order, Abu respected the court order by making sure that he vacated the court case in Benin, and then he emerges as the chairman of the party and is continues in the position. In the case of the Abuja case, he has made it very clear he has gone to the court to challenge this particular position, and also have asked for an ex parte motion to be granted on this particular matter, and which he obeyed. So what is wrong with that? He has not in any way flounced the court order in any way whatsoever. So in that case, for those who are trying to cause these distractions, Yarambambi should be very mindful of the fact that if he believes that he was doing whatever they are doing in the interest of the party, you wouldn't have come out to accuse the party that all of you have also, one way or the other, claimed to your highest position in life. You couldn't have done that. But then here you are. Of course, probably you may have your reasons for doing what you are doing. But then for us in the Labour Party, we will be ready to forgive anybody who is trying to, but we are going to focus on our court case. And that, I think, should be the matter in this particular discussion. Because on May 10th, the case of Peter Obi and the so-called president-elect will be dealt with. And we are saying that the court have the right to have dealt with this matter according to Section 285 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To deal with this particular matter, you have the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gave them 180 days. And 180 days does not mean that you must exhaust those 180 days. You have within 90 days to deal with this matter so that the leadership of whoever is taking over leadership of this country will not have issue of litigation hanging. And then the Nigerian people will be satisfied that the system is cleaned. And then a lot of people are claiming that we should have had an interim government. The Section 146 subsection 2 of the Constitution made it very clear. In the case where there's a vacuum in the presidency and the vice president, the Senate president take over. And in this case, if the president...
Mr. Yunus Tanko, as you quoted Section 285 of the Constitution, it gives 180 days. And in fact, when former Governor Peter Obi, when he won that case against former Governor Ngige, it was almost 3 years, and he eventually won. So, and I know that the NEC, which held in Bauchi, releases in that statement that they will not be a party to any unlawful acts to cause a change of democratic administration violently, as anticipated by Barrister Julius Abure. So quickly, Mr. Arababi, do you agree with his submission?
That's where the crux of the matter is, Kaidi. That is where the crux of the matter is.
So, Comrade Arababi, do you agree with Mr. Yunus Tanko's submission?
That they are trying to just cause a mayhem within the system. They are following laws. They say we should go. We say we should go to court. We are already going to court.
There must not be any attempt by anybody. There must be any attempt by anybody to cause a constitutive of government because we lose an election.
Well,
I am going to put a lot of question to him.
Right.
We were in
but gentlemen, we have to run now.
Ask them why PDP was excluded.
What did you say?
Ask them why PDP was excluded from that petition.
Okay, well, we have to run now, and I think that we can pick up this conversation on another day. We're totally.
My people, my people. Hey. Nah, Tori be this, so let's just get right into it.
Oh
Thank
my
you so
God.
much for your patience, everyone, for coming. Thank you. Please, can you stay on mute? I beg. I have to come to. Please stay on mute, for now. Let me come to Mr. Prince. Sorry, Prince, are you still with us? We can't hear you if you're on mute.
Oh my, how are you?
I'm very well, though. You seem far away. We can't hear you very well.
Let me see. Probably I have to touch this screen a little bit. Is it better?
Yeah, it's better now. Yes. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday to you, sir.
Happy Friday to you, my dear.
Yes. So, what do you have to say? I know I've played a couple of videos, but just start from wherever you want to start from.
It's definitely a lot. Definitely a lot to digest into. But in a very nutshell, this last two interviews, who is that man? I don't know why these people try to cause problem when we try to fix things right, and they try to blackmail and make Labour Party. I think even these party officials, I believe they don't even realize that this Labour Party is not just them as the official. I think they forget that this Labour Party is actually a party of Nigerians these days. Like it's not just PDP, APGA, whichever parties. Because no matter where every other members of Nigerians are belonging to, most of them actually believe Labour Party is a party of liberation, assisting and supporting Nigeria, not just the principal, the individuals that occupy the offices of the Labour Party. But unfortunately, it's so bad for them. It's so bad and so disgusting. Like I hate to, like I hate when things get into this level. Like the level it is right now is very terrible, and it's not good. It's not looking good for Peter Obi himself. It's not looking good for Nigerians. It's actually a sign that they already plan to mess everything up. And don't be surprised that before the court case or even during the court case, that these people will go and start digging up some private conversation, private things they have, and then bring it up and just to sabotage the mandate of Peter Obi. So that is, by the way, Kenneth Okonkwo is a very smart guy. I love the way he responded to him. Very obviously, you are telling somebody you are fired. You are no more a party spokesperson, and you also, at the same time, saying that the person is not even a party member. You are not a party member, and you are fired. So which of them? So it's a very obvious thing that these guys are being financed, being supported by one group or the other just to sabotage the effort of Nigerians. And that is totally unbelievable.
Well, for me, I just feel like I'm very glad because I know that Peter Obi has always I remember his interview. I think it was with the channels. The first time he spoke after the election was rigged, he said he made a distinction. The Labour Party is different from the Obedience, and I know on the comment sections people were posting that you should just form another party and call it Obedient Party. I really am in support of, because I think there's an agenda to just derail, but they're not going to succeed. Absolutely, they're not going to succeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Desmond. Let me go to Mama Echo. Let's hear your comments on this video so far. Hey, welcome, Mama Echo. You are shining this evening, this Friday. Be like say e go hot. Wetin be the plan now? Like you don dey ready for some gbedu.
The truth is this, I'm happy for everything happening. You see, these people that have destroyed our country, they thought it is business as usual. And we told them that it's not going to be business as usual during the campaign. Yes or no? They thought after rigging, everything will just go as usual. And the more they try to make it as usual, the more tougher it becomes. And everything they are doing all the way is evidence for us. Everything. This is it a papa? I've been waiting at the corner.
They say na Araba and Bio. I don't know them. I just be different people. I don't know where this one come from. I really it didn't shock me. I don't understand. Oh my god.
He come, only go the right for court. Say they withdraw case when you not file. Now you know they sack everybody. But you see, there are two types of people for the judiciary right now. The judiciary, two set of son. The real son and the other son called senior, what do they call them? Senior advocate of non-entity, senior association of non-entity people, senior association of non-entity. That these people belong to the Kiyamu there. They know one thing. They know say when we get our mandate enter power, all this impunity when hey, oh my gosh, you know what happened today again, Abi? They don't put fire for Alaba International Market for Lagos.
I didn't hear that one. Just recently.
Today.
Wow. I didn't hear about that.
Today.
Wow.
So, did you see how they are provoking the Igbo? Did you see where they are pushing them to? Why are they beating the drum of civil war? Why? And you know, say Alaba International Market might be the biggest Igbo market for Lagos. Oh. They put fire today. They put fire. I don't know the level of the disruption.
Wow. Well,
but the question, they never, you know, and another one, you know, she say that they threaten Rufai, Oseni and his family.
No, that one, they've already done that. Yeah. I mean,
now, another fresh one.
Why are they I'm not why? Because he's standing for the truth.
They say they want wipe him and his family away. Another fresh one today.
They don't fit. Like they don't fit. But yeah, I hear you.
I was not asking myself a question. Agbado never enter. If he can't enter,
now the prelude. Now this is why I keep saying that this is just a prelude to what.
If he enter,
it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse.
All these loyalists now they go come because the new Boko Haram.
Are they all not already? They are already now.
So it's scary.
That's why we're here.
It's scary that if we don't do something.
Yeah.
If the judiciary don't do something, these 3 days, may they just start the case, may they give verdict before on 29.
Yeah, there's a video I'm going to play after everyone talks for a few minutes that's going to speak to that. I really want us to hear that. So, Mama, let me quickly come to
let the reason that believe in justice and fairness, that know that if they don't take their stand firmly, the country will burn.
Right. Let me quickly, thank you very much, Mama Echo. Let me quickly move around because I need to play that video that speaks to that petition itself. Thank you very much, Mama Echo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sis Ify, unmute. Oh, we are ready for you.
Hello, Moed. I hope you did not call me earlier because sorry, I didn't hear if you
Oh
had called
no,
me. Okay,
no, I'm just getting to you now. So it
okay,
worked out.
I see. So, I mean, for me, all this one what they talk, it makes sense. But Nada Araba and be me one, I want to take and laugh small. You know, person will be say when he want, I should say when he want speak Yoruba, him mouth they sharp well. When you reach English now him go they stammer. They do thank you, my brother. That why we I mean this Agbe Roman. All of us know as he be the time before APC call him say make he come chop. In neck long like Maggie bottle like that. On top of now, we be say you don't they chop money now. You know, I don't understand how someone will wake up in the morning. You know that your job is just to be a saboteur, and you take that as a job with pride. They pay you to go and lie, disrupt things, call blue black and call white black, and then he goes on. My question is, as I listened to him, I was in deep thoughts. I thought about how depravity, is predominantly part of our Nigerian culture. And the reason why I said that is because we know Arabambi has a wife, he has children. I'm sure he attends a church where he pays tithe. And there are people around him who know that what he's doing is just saboteur work. Now they do. So nobody among all these people I don't call, so if call and say, come on, I beg. That thing where they go do for Channels TV and the Arise TV, I beg. You they think about them, so you they think about your children, you they think about your old age, you know. I know I have always thought about it. If only people can think about, when they say lying in states, when that body go day inside that pussy, where you not go they move again. I'm not sure say people they reflect on that last day where they go draw their last breath. I feel say when people start to they live like their lives, like say today, where then they breathe, now ain't go be the last breath where they go take. Then go they make informed and better decisions. Because people like Araba and be not they think, oh, I'm not sure. I thought about that. I also thought about the fact that if LP had not, made all the strides they made during the elections, would there be factions? Factions of LP, according to what they want us to believe. Which I love it when Ken Okonkwo said there is no such thing as a faction, and it's true. These people are saboteurs. Imagine say this election come and go. Say Peter Obi not come even just not even carry third position. Say that kind of fifth position in carry after this election.
Forget.
They not go
I
get
cannot
this.
dey mention am.
Araba and B not go get job. Maybe say he go don't go APC no matter what, because he don't tell where I don't suspect that guy. Say that APC indeed. I've always said it, I have a gift of looking at people's eyes and just telling what they are capable of. That gift has never failed me. Araba and be the first day where I see him, before the campaign start, I say, this guy will cause trouble. You can see that he had no peace. Even before the campaign started in earnest, he had no peace. There was something very dark about his eyes. Another person where I want to mention, Adonyi Okukwe, no time where I take trust that guy. All these people, if you watch well, then they work with that Dapo Abi, what they call them, that governor of Ogun State, where all of them they waka, they do their dark work for under corner. I just feel like I wish Labour Party, and of course, if Labour Party walks away and say, "Oh, this one Agbero, let's not take him seriously," these people will keep talking. They'll keep going to all these TV channels, and that's why I love the fact that they are pairing them up and they're allowing the likes of Kenneth Okonkwo, Yunus Satanko to come and talk on TV. Because if they allow this Agbero, what he get? He not even sabi punctuating words. Now so it go just they do like they shell they go. If you just fit do evening class for English language, and they tell them, you see, I lived in South Africa. Textbooks were written in Zulu and Xhosa. Right? Speak Yoruba. It's not by force to go on national TV and start blowing stupid grammar. The kind shelling where this guy don't shell, and the insult where they put this person side by side with the likes of Yunus Atanko and Kenneth Okonkwo. Then be mates, if not be politics where cause this nonsense. Then be mates. See the Agbero where them put beside somebody where don't go law school come out, and Yunus Atanko where get PhD. This Agbado man, I don't know the kind of wahala where go cause. May God not let them swear I'm in, because the way they take bring the standard of things down for Nigeria, even before he become this president self, we don't see the handwriting on the wall. And I hope say they're not go swear. I mean, I don't get much to talk. I just wish
Yeah.
you see that Araba make I shake and well with that stupid grammar where they speak. Oh my, make I go, make I allow another person talk. Jerry.
Okay, thank you so much, Ife. I really appreciate. Mazi Ogbona, good evening. Oh, happy Friday. Good to have you on mute. So yeah, tell us what you think so far, really quickly, before I play the next video.
Good morning, oh, from here.
Good morning. Not true. Not good morning for your
And today
side.
na Saturday, no be Friday.
E be like say you wake up early today. Oh, wetin be time for
Yeah.
that side?
Eh?
Wetin be time for your side?
It's 20 minutes after 3 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Why? Why you dey up so early? Anyway, wetin you get to talk on top of this ogbonge matter?
They ask me why I wake up early. Now Nigeria wey no good now.
Oh.
We need to talk about it. If
Yeah.
Mama Echo can stand anytime, any day, whenever I call Mama Echo, he will answer me both day and night. Why I no
God
go wake
go
up?
bless am. God go bless
Yeah.
am. I make God dey bless her. Oh yeah, what do you have to say to this matter that is on ground?
Yes, Antomo, yeah, thank you very much once again. I wish this type of platform had been for long. I couldn't have been talking all this thing we are talking. We couldn't. What we be talking now? How to organize ourselves and build a better Nigeria. But we are still talking. I know it is God's time. You see these people that are coming to destabilize our mandate. They can't do anything because this mandate is from God, and I know it's from God. There's never a time they do the election and the longest like this before handover. That we were talking about it, and there is keep hammering on one thing. The judiciary, we are looking at them, all the other things, we are looking at them, all the people that think that they have the power. We are searching them, we are giving them woto back to back. Whatever they bring, we are giving them back to back. It never happened in this country. If it had happened, let somebody come to challenge, So I just thank God for this time around. Thank God for everything. I traveled all the way, like I am in Ebonyi State now, Abakaliki, to be precise. I have to enter one place yesterday. I did as if I don't know anything. They were talking about the same thing. People are talking some taking side because the governor is dancing to the tune of bat. So, but majority is against this man, against Tinubu. So like one of our co-panelists here for Niger Watch used to say that youth are waiting, LS, that youth are waiting, they are agitating. People are agitating. And that yesterday evening, after one man talk and say they will inaugurate Tinubu and so and so, the other man now say, even if they inaugurate him, no problem. Peter Obi is a peaceful man. They don't want violence. They don't want problem. You see all these people that are coming out now, they are Agberos. And one thing we should know about that, this Apampa and what they call them, Abaparapao, what they call them, Arabambi, they are from one section of this of the country, one section of the country. You understand? They are telling us Arabambi is telling us it's only Igbo that they are given opportunity to run. How possible would that be? A party of all the whole Nigeria, you are telling us is only Igbo. How will it be Igbo? Is it only Igbo that supports Peter Obi? And you have to go to this far? You see? So these people are just there trying to do some little things. Maybe it will go to the favor, and it's not going to work. What makes me and you wake up by this time to talk about this country? That means God has heard our prayers, heard our cries, heard people, the blood are poured away. and they will not. God will not allow the people that will pour abroad again to still retain that power. I believe that, and I strongly believe that it's not going to happen.
Yes.
Not at this time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Thank you. Let me come to Mr. Isholuwa. Good evening, sir. Welcome. Happy Friday to you. Mr.
Hello, can you
Don't
Isholuwa.
hear
sleep.
me?
Okay. I mean, Mazi Ogbonabe, you feel mute. Yes, you can go ahead now, Mr. Isholuwa. We can hear you.
Yeah, thank you, my sister, for this wonderful work you are doing. It's not easy. And Mommy Echo, I greet you. And Sister Ify, everybody in the house, I greet
Greeting
you.
to you too, sir.
I greet you. I greet you. Everybody, is doing what we are supposed to do, and that is the most important thing. We need to speak
Exactly.
up. So you see this Arab and B, and Ishawuru, they were because it's Isha
What does
as
it
a
mean?
lot.
What does it mean? What does Ishawuru mean?
When we were growing up, now there is this Mount Zion movie now. Ishauru was the Babalawo in that movie now.
Oh
Ishauru. And this Apapa man is like just if you go just what is the name of this movie? This is again. Let me remember. I've forgotten, but if I remember, I'll tell you. Just if you go and search that movie, you see that Apapa and Ishauru did no difference at all. So you see, these people, they are just doing what they were paid to do. So we shouldn't be surprised. But unfortunately, you see that each time they ask him that question, are you people, not going on with the case and that? Because they have tried, they cannot do anything about that case. There is nothing they can do. So they saw that there is nothing they can do about the case. That was why he's not he's saying that we are forgiving. Who gave you power to forgive? Forgive who? So that we are going along with that. And we now came the other video you played. He said it's being sponsored by Atiku. Who is Atiku? Atiku Chop. Make Atiku enter house. So that is to tell you that these people, you see what they were paid to do is now showing, what is displaying right now is now showing the task that was given to them. But unfortunately, the person they were coming to face is more, more brilliant than them, more smarter than them. So they saw he went ahead, 4 steps ahead of them. So there was nothing they could do about that case. You see, next week here the case is going to begin, and we will see, a lot of things we see, we still, unfold because we still see more things that will be displayed. But the thing is that there is nothing that is happening now that has not been, that has not been expected. Even me, you see why I'm so relaxed when it comes to, talking about this issue, because I know that
Yes, you are always relaxed. I
it's
mean, I
already
honestly
a
I
done
commend
deal.
you for that too. Honestly, I don't
It's,
know how you
it's,
put
it's,
it together.
It's already a done deal. Peter Obi presidency is already a done deal, no matter what they do. But Peter Obi is not coming on the 29th of May. So everybody should get it down. He is not coming on the 29th of May. But before this year runs out, pata latest, let's say around that November. But Peter Obi is going to be the president of this country, Nigeria, that country, Nigeria. So that is, I have a, you see, I don't talk about 29 because one side of my mind know what is going to happen. No, I don't say it again. So because it's already settled this, that is why I don't worry about what is going to happen on the 29th. So nobody should ask me what is going to happen. Let's just wait and see. See that 29th of May. So
Right.
that is that. There is this write-up I came across on the Twitter, one Twitter. He said in the early 90s, Italy was properly occupied by the mafia. Like Nigeria today, if you see what is going on in Nigeria setting, look at the other one that by about 15 people during the election. He's now talking about coming to contest for the Speaker of the House. Can you just imagine what is going on in that
I'm
society?
telling you, I saw that.
Hi. So
I
you see,
weep.
you see now what is going on. You think if Kweremadu was in this thing happened in Nigeria, you think this what happened today would have happened? No, it would have been the boy would have been the victim would have been the one they were accused. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that is to tell you that that country has been bastardized. It has been that country has I don't know. He really needs somebody, somebody that God really destined to bring that country to put it in a reverse mode, because where that country like that lady say, help me, they take me where they take
I
me where
don't
I don't
know.
know.
They carry me go where
If
I
they
don't
carry
know.
me go away, I don't know. So it's the same thing that is happening in that nation. Look at now what this Mefele and the core, they said they have approved 22.733 not BBO 3 trillion.
Mm.
Can you just imagine?
Mm.
These
My
people,
brother.
they don't really buy us.
Completely.
Now, how many years we go take recover from all this mess? How many years? People that are going under three weeks here. Man.
Oluwa, thank you very much. I beg my people, make una like this video now. Half of una never like. And we had at least over 71 people watching. Only 32 people have liked. Kilo day. Wetin I do now? Okay, I offend una. I make una vex. I talk wetin una no like. Abeg make una no vex. Na beg I dey beg. Make una like the video. When I like the video, e go give am visibility. People go fit come join us. They go fit help make we continue to dey push this thing forward. Honestly, abeg make una just like. Dat na the easiest thing. Make una take una time, step out the door, like, then come back. Make una carry the like go up. Make una subscribe. Those of una wey never subscribe, abeg na beg I dey beg una. Make una subscribe. Make we carry dis village go permanent site. Abeg make I check whether the like don dey increase. Make I see am. Una dey oya continue. You see am. I appreciate una o, cause anytime when I beg like dis una dey always lis ten. Dat na wetin I really appreciate about una. Una no dey, once I beg like dis, but una no suppose to dey wait for me to beg, but it's okay. Sometimes we dey like petting. I understand. Sometimes you want make person call you pet names before you do am. So okay, my darlings, my lovelies. All right, oh, thank you so much, Mr. Ishooluwa. Let me come to for real, for real. For real. Sis of life, long time. Good to see you here. Oh.
Nice to see.
I happy see you come today. Oh.
I was driving. I did traffic, but
Yeah.
waiting I hear. I know it just I had to call me because it's just the same thing. It's just is a curse to a black man to betray each other? Is it a curse? Like this is I cannot imagine APC within themselves sabotaging themselves. I don't understand this man, where he came from, how he came about, his origin, and who paid him for him to, how he got into Labour Party and to start sabotaging. This is pure sabotage. There's nothing. What right party person in his right senses will do this kind of thing? Even if they are doing some things that are wrong, you cover up.
They've been paid to come and sabotage. That's what you need to understand. These people have been paid to come and sabotage. So that's what they're doing. All these people, we didn't know them before. And again, you remember, Labour Party was on its own before Peter Obi joined. So
nobody even knew them.
Yeah. So
nobody even knew them. And anyway, I believe that God is in control. It's just that I know these people have paid this man to sabotage, to bring some legality that they can use to throw the case out of court. Because if the case, if there's no local standing, if there's no first of all, if the case is void ab initio, then there's no need for continuance. So these people, they are going to the foundation to make sure that Mr. Obi does not even progress in court, to throw the matter out of court in the first place, that it is not, that there are some contentions within the party, and if the party, if where it's coming from has issues, then there will be no local standing for him in court. So that is what they are trying to do. They're just trying to make the case ineligible. That's what the other party, that's what they're trying to do. And this is the time to look for serious evidence against this useless, tell us that our fathers, old age is not equivalent to wisdom. Old age is not equivalent to wisdom at all. Sometimes my mom would tell me, I'm advising you, listen. I said that you have to advise based on knowledge. You cannot be advising me with what you know in the past that does not work anymore. It's like putting old wine in a new wine skin glass stuff. It's going to burst. You don't do that. You know? So this old, archaic, dilapidated humans that call themselves grandfathers, that have no value for humanity, that have no value for their children's future, that have no value for integrity. How many years are you going to live on this earth remaining that you're not satisfied with the little that you have, but you agree to take bribe to sabotage your own member? How much? Even if they pack all the millions and give to you, what do you want to do with it? Where do you want to travel to? How many food do you want to eat? How many cars do you want to drive? And this is a big issue within. I just really pray that God really help this Peter Obi, and our mentality as a Nigerian will change. That is not all about money. This is one thing I love in America. This is not like they are perfect here, but they have sense of value. Even the people that don't go to, these people here, they don't even believe in God. But morality is at a very high level. It's not like there is no corruption, but it's not conspicuously obvious as it is in Nigeria. It's not like Nigerians are not good people. We are good people, we are kind people, but we have a problem. I know that there's a sabotage, but why will you be the person that someone will be able to access to sabotage your own party? This is when Peter Obi came as president. You did not come out when he was contesting. You didn't come out when this whole problem, all these things was happening. You did not come out. Now you are coming out. Of what intent? Of what purpose? So it's you try to throw the matter out of court in the first place to prevent evidences. They just want to let the matter not fly. So what they are doing is to perpetuate people within the party that can do harm to Peter Obi. Because like you said, that Peter Obi should start another party. It's not going to be possible legally because he cannot start another party now because he won the election under the umbrella of Labour Party. So he's coming under that umbrella as a representative that he is the presidential candidate of the party. If he does not have a party, you cannot in the first place contest for election. Because that is the rule of Nigeria. So there's no way for him to say, okay, let's form another party. No. He cannot do that. It's not lawful. It's not legal. So they are trying to say he's not even a qualified candidate. So first of all, in the first place, contest for an election. So if in the first place you were not qualified to contest for an election, that means what you did was illegal. It was void ab initio. It was void. So that means the matter will be thrown out of court. So that is what these people are perpetuating. So even forming another party is not even a
I know people are just saying that not for now. Of course, we know it's not going to happen. Forming another party.
Definitely. later.
You know,
Yeah, but that
and
is
we
the
will
intent. But
definitely get our mandate back. This does not affect us getting the mandate. Whatever they do, they're just throwing. You know, when last minute, you know, when in the battle, so you don't they lose when they are losing the battle. They are throwing everything at us that they can. That's what's going on
yeah,
right now. At least that's
yeah,
what I
that's what
think.
it is. It's just that I'm just angry that why should you allow yourself to be a bait? Why?
Well,
I'm,
like now, some people are on the payroll of the enemy. So you get some people when they pay $10 an hour. You get some when they pay $20 per hour. You get some when they dey $50, $100, 200, 1,000. All of them dey payroll. This one na im payroll na $2 an hour. Na im dey do so. Wetin I dey talk? $1 an hour work na im dey do. So he must do im work. Na wetin dem pay am for be that. My sister, thank you very much. Make we go ahead,
thank
finish
you.
up your thoughts so that I go. I wan play one video before.
I'll come back again now. We'll come and make allow another person to talk.
Okay,
Then
yeah,
I'll
may I
come
quick
back.
play the
Yeah.
video before BB and Black Panther talk. Because if I not play this video, now no go let me play am. And I trust una for this platform. I no dey take
Okay, I will just temporarily leave, then I'll come back.
Okay, no wahala. You fit mute for now. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
So my people, all right. Let's hear this.
So the fallout from Nigeria's disputed presidential election has become the cardinal's lamentation, sort of like the book of the Old Testament, traditionally ascribed to the prophet Jeremiah, who was lamenting the destruction of Jerusalem. And traditionally, when the faithful gather to read the scroll of Lamentations, it is a day of unrelenting sadness, a day to mourn the many evils that have befallen the eternal victims. In this case, at least in the eyes of John Cardinal Onayekon, the Nigerian people and the shattering of their electoral hopes. And so for him, after that ill-fated election and the subsequent donning of sackcloth and ashes, the time for atonement is here. And in that regard, it doesn't make sense to swear in people when there are issues to be settled in court, issues that have to do with legal challenges and the legitimacy of the electoral process. Well, he may well have a point. But the fact is that electoral law, as it currently stands, means that the inescapable destiny of Nigeria is that on May the 29th, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be given the keys to the Aso Rock presidential villa. No two ways about that. So how then to resolve that dilemma into the future? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Nigeria's master of jurisprudence, Femi Falana, who is a respected constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and senior advocate of Nigeria. What a pleasure and an honor to have you here, as always.
Thank you very much, Chad. I thought I was listening to a pastor.
You mean when we're talking about lamentation?
Yeah.
Well, it's only as it relates to the cardinal.
Old Testament.
Yeah. But Nigeria's big elections, the official results obviously came in some time ago in favor of Bola Tinubu and the APC, but now it's mired in legal challenges and lamentations of almost biblical proportions, yet the inauguration is going ahead because that's the law. But is it a moral, ethically sound law? Is it a fair rule?
Charles, I think it's too late in the day to cry or bemoan our fate. Since 2010, we have engaged in a consistent campaign for far-reaching electoral reforms along the lines suggested, the recommendations of the Waste Panel, which I'd said on this forum. Those recommendations were adopted by the panel set up by President Jonathan following the crisis that attended the 2011 presidential election.
Yaradua.
Yeah, no, it was Waste Panel was set up by President Yaradua.
Right.
President Jonathan set up the Ahmed Lemu panel,
right,
which adopted the recommendations of
okay, yes, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Ways wholesale. Again, President Buhari set up the Ken Namani panel, which also adopted the basic recommendations of the Ways panel.
Yeah.
But to master the political will, to implement these recommendations have always been the problem. Because the people in power want to take advantage of the loopholes in the law, including those who are complaining now. And if you look at the dramatis personae, which of them has not enjoyed what we are criticizing now? Governor Bola Tinubu, Vice President Atiku, Peter Obi, in fact, more than anybody, had their elections challenged. And when those elections were challenged, they were in power. President Obasanjo and Vice President Atiku in 2003 and 2007, when they were challenged by candidate General Muhammadu Buhari, they were in power. In fact, in 2003, the election petition did not end until 2005. Now, the case of Peter Obi is more interesting. Here was a guy who was kept out of power for 3 years. He won election in 2003. But INEC declared that Dr. Chris Ngige was the winner of the election. So the petition was contested for 35 months, almost 3 years. And in fairness to Governor Obi, after the verdict of the Court of Appeal, so well, I better go to the office to complete, spend whatever is left of the term. And I said, no. I roar like a lion in Lagos. No. Your opponent had no term of office because his election had been annulled. So you can't complete his term of office. So you are going to start your own 4-year tenure the moment you take your oath of office. Every lawyer said I was talking bonkum. But later, he took advantage of my position and fought the matter from the High Court to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court made a point that your 4-year tenure commences the day you are sworn in. So I think I was, I was discussing, I think sometime last year, I asked Governor Obi, you took advantage of my advice. You haven't paid me, and you don't pay me.
I like that.
It was a public duty.
He didn't buy you a bottle of champagne? I'm disappointed.
No, you just said no. You were rendering a public service.
Yeah, of course.
But after that, in 2007, in 2009, Obi won the election. Andy Uba went to court to say, whereas in 2007, INEC had conducted an election, which was illegal anyway, and he said he had won. Therefore, my term of office, was kept in the cooler. So what are you talking about? Again, the battle went up to the Supreme Court. Governor Obi was in office. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court upheld, and decided that the election the gentleman was talking about was illegally conducted. Dr. Dachi Ahmed won election to the Senate in 2011, I think under the platform of CPC. His opponent, former Governor McAfee, went to court and was in court for almost a year. He eventually won, and Dr. Dachi Ahmed, who had been in the parliament, was then asked to vacate because it was proved that he didn't win the election. But he had spent about a year in the parliament. So this is the position. What the respected Cardinal Onayeka is talking about is what in law we call de lege ferenda as opposed to de lege. What the law is as opposed to what the law should be. For me, I've always believed that all election petitions should be concluded before the inauguration of an incoming government. But again, this time it's not limited to the president-elect. All the governors who have been elected, including the LP Labour Party governorship candidate and governor-elect
in Abia
State will be sworn in. All the legislators who have been declared winners of the election on the platform of PC, APC, PDP, Labour Party, and all of them will also be inaugurated on the 29th.
Right. But for the benefit of our audience who may not know these things, what is the law as it stands today with regard, for example, to the presidential
now,
tribunal? I mean,
because
there are different time frames for each level, aren't there?
By virtue of Section 285 of the Constitution, election petitions shall be heard by our courts and determined within a period of 180 days. That's 6 months.
That is on the tribunal level.
Yes.
Yeah, the presidential.
Also at the Court of Appeal level.
Right. So that's another 6 months.
No. For the presidential election,
right,
it starts at the Court of Appeal. And then you have an option to go to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
So if you have 180 days in the Court of Appeal, you have additional 2 months, 60 days in the Supreme Court.
Right.
In the case of governorship, which is the only one that allows for 3 stages.
Yeah.
You go to the election petition tribunal for 180 days, Court of Appeal for 60 days, Supreme Court for 60 days. That's keeping the governor in office for 10 months.
Yeah.
While his opponent or his opponents are fighting the legitimacy of his election. So this is the position. In fact, there's a provision of the Electoral Act, I think Section 120, which provides that even within the tribunal or the Court of Appeal this time around, says the man who has been declared the winner of the election has not been properly elected. He has 21 days to appeal. Again,
and he still remains in office. Right.
Once the appeal is filed within 21 days.
Right.
So that is the law now. But what do now? But for me, these provisions were made when nobody thought we were going to have electronic voting, likely. Right. In other African countries, and this is very sad for us, in 2017, the Supreme Court of Kenya decided the election petition, presidential election petition, within 14 days. And I drew the attention of Nigerians to that development. I wrote a piece, which was widely circulated in the media, entitled Electoral Justice in Kenya and Nigeria. And I drew the attention of my colleagues particularly to the need for us to ask for an amendment of the Constitution. Because in other African countries, even Ghana here, the challenge of the presidential election is only taken at the Supreme Court. In Kenya, it's the same thing. You don't begin at the Court of Appeal. 2.
Yeah, so it goes straight to the Supreme Court. Yeah.
In most other African countries, you have constitutional courts. These petitions go to the constitutional court, which the courts have 14 days to conclude the election petitions. At the time, the Constitution provided for 6 months. Nobody thought we were going to have the use of beavers machine or transmission of election results to the central server of INEC. So if we make the system to work, right, for me, all you need will be the reports of the beavers machine that has captured accreditation and the results that have been uploaded
to the IREV.
But what if you have those 2 reports,
you're pretty much sorted.
You can even have the petition decided in 14 days.
Yeah, but what I don't understand, but the fact though is that the 6 months is the limit. So
Yes.
it doesn't have to last that long, does it?
No, it doesn't have to last that long.
I mean, I'm wondering why the courts don't, I mean, they don't have to take up the entire time. I mean, they can move a lot quicker than they are. That's the argument that some of your colleagues are making.
Again, because of the way and manner people take advantage of the provisions of the law. You file a petition, right, Charles, challenging the return made by INEC. Because the onus is on you to prove that the election was not properly conducted. Yes. I have problems with that. What happens? To serve your opponent is a laborious exercise. To get the materials from the electoral body is problematic. In Rivers State, I'm sure you are aware that some of the lawyers who were preparing an election petition to challenge the governorship election were arrested. And Governor Wike came out to justify it. Two tribunals now. The governorship election, the governorship tribunal, election petition tribunal, in Rivers State and Ebonyi State, have relocated to Abuja because the environment is hostile. Now, you then have a number of days to file your petition for the defendants or the respondent, if you get them to serve, to file their reply, and their time will begin to run when you have served them. To get the materials that you need, you will need to go to court and get an order compelling INEC, either at the national level or at the state level, to give you the materials. Now, you are going to call witnesses. The petitioners will have to call witnesses. The respondents will have to call witnesses. INEC will have to call witnesses.
Hi, I'm Andrew with Prudent Reviews, and in this...
All this will take the entirety of the period. And of course, after hearing the case, the judges will need time to write the judgments.
To deliberate.
To deliberate, you know. So if we are going to take up the challenge facing us, we have to go back to the drawing table and ensure that we make the system to work.
Right. So you think that is what is responsible for what appears to be a delay to the start of the proceedings at the presidential level?
No, I won't call it a delay.
Right.
Yeah, those are responsible for the delay.
Right.
To get the
not something sinister, because some people have suggested that there's some,
No, I don't think so, because
going on.
Again, I'm saying that this is not the first time.
Right.
You know, to get the, it's like you are going to serve somebody in Aso, right? Or you want to serve a copy of an election petition on a respondent. It takes time. On the INEC, sometimes you have to go and ask for substituted service. The procedure is time consuming. And at the end of the day, the judges will have to battle to be able to deliver their judgment within the sequence. Right now, I think I was reading, I think it was in Bauchi, about 45 petitions have been filed. 45. And the judges have only 6 months to deal with them.
So basically, they have to take the entire 6 months in order to properly,
so in many of the states,
create what resembles justice.
Over 50 petitions have been filed.
Yeah.
And again, as I've said before, Nigeria records the highest number of election petitions in the entire world because we have refused to make our system to work.
But what I don't understand is that, you were one of the people who over time pushed for electoral reform and are still pushing for it. That's why you had this new Electoral Act 2022 that was brought in. What is it that prevented the Waste panel report from being incorporated into it as far as this part of it is concerned? When it was clear that it would significantly restore credibility to the electoral process and usher in sort of free and fair elections.
I think, unfortunately, the man who set up the panel, that's the electoral reform panel, the late Yaradua, could not implement the provisions.
Yeah, but I'm wondering why it wasn't incorporated into the
No,
electoral
all the
act.
other regimes, successive regimes, have preferred to retain the status quo because they profit from it.
Right.
Yeah. And that's it.
So
all the legislators
right.
also want to take advantage of the loopholes in the system to keep themselves in office. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, your assessment is that changes are required to electoral procedures, electoral functions, amendments to existing laws, and so on and so forth, as recommended by the waste panel.
No, we've gone beyond the waste panel.
Right.
We just have to embrace technology. The waste panel didn't think we're going to have beavers machines.
No, but I mean in terms of the time frame.
No, the time, what waste panel was pushing was that we should have enough time, let's say 6 months, conduct the elections 6 months before inauguration, so that all the petitions will have been concluded. That was it. But now I am saying
that even at this the way it is now, you can speed the process up.
In this case, you conduct elections in February, right? If you embrace technology and make it work, we can conclude election petitions in 14 days or 21 days.
But what you're saying requires a constitutional amendment, or it doesn't?
For me, I think it requires, no, of course, it does require constitutional amendment, because right now, the Constitution provides for 6 months. At the time that provision was entrenched in the Constitution, the drafters never thought we're going to go electronic. So if it is working in Kenya and some other African countries,
absolutely,
why can it not work in Nigeria?
Well, let me ask you to...
Unless, for instance, I'm talking of the presidential election.
Sure.
If you have gone electronic, you don't need to go to the Court of Appeal. Now, if you've gone electronic, you don't need to have governorship election, right? You don't need to have 3 stages. Now, that is the only one. It's only governorship election. I will start from the election petition tribunal to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. All the others, 2 stages. So we need to also have a uniform electoral act that will capture the fears of Nigerians.
That's a good point. But let me ask you to put on your human rights hat rather than your legal hat, because your legal hat makes you very kind of black and white. This is what the law says and so on. And I mean, the way that you've explained it has been brilliant. But putting on the other, or maybe I should even say your civil rights hat, what a hammering Bola Tinubu and his aides are taking as a result of this election. What does he need to do to reduce the force of those hammer blows that each day remind him of the questions of legitimacy and credibility that trail him and his INEC declared election victory?
So you see, we had the situation in 2007 when the president-elect, the late Yaradua, came out publicly to say that the election that brought me into power was highly flawed. That's the language, highly flawed. And I'm determined to put an end to bad elections in Nigeria on the basis of which he set up the electoral reform panel. For me, I do not expect that the government that will be inaugurated on the 29th of May would think it's going to be business as usual. That question of legitimacy will have to be addressed. And interestingly, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu set up a committee as a non-state actor. After he had left as governor of Lagos, he set up a committee to promote the recommendations of the waste panel. and you trust Nigerians, once he gets to power, he's going to be reminded. This was your position.
You're certainly reminding him.
This was your position.
Right.
Incidentally, it was Alhaji Lai Mohammed that headed the body that was campaigning for electoral reforms, as recommended by the Waste Panel,
Let me just say that it's a perverse world, isn't it? It's a perverse world. Look, I want to thank you exceedingly. I mean, it is always an absolute education in jurisprudence listening to your analysis. Femi Falana is a respected constitutional.
All right, let's get the talking, my people. We've heard that. BBMJ, welcome to the show. Happy Friday, my darling sister. Good to have you.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to my beautiful comments people as well. Greetings to everyone on the panel. Thank you. Wow. What can we say? Um, I think in this election, I have never heard more words said, unsaid, written, typed, tweeted than this one. Omoya, I sent you two things. One of them is very crucial. I wish you could take a look at it and decide whether you want to post it or not, or read it out. It's actually
Which
on
one is
Twitter.
that? Can you share it in the private?
Oh dear. Okay, I don't have Twitter on my private, so
Okay, no,
sorry.
as in the private chat right here.
Um,
Oh, okay, just send it to me.
I did send it to you on your Instagram. It's
okay.
It's a request that Jeffrey Gutterman requested from the FBI to send him paperwork or documents or any information on Bola Ahmed Tinubu and what their
Have they
reply.
responded to him? I saw
Yes,
that.
they have.
They have?
Yes, they responded to him. So he posted the letter on Twitter. I just saw it now, so I sent it to you.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna find it on Twitter and pull it up.
Yes, so that's
Thank
that.
you.
And then I hear so many people talk. And before I forget, I would like to, I know Amoya, you know about it already, but when you get the chance, when anybody has a chance and you happen to be on Twitter either on Tuesday or Thursday, please go to the space of violence space. A lot of information comes out there, and interestingly, a lot of people join. And when I say a lot of people that should know things. I heard a very, very, very interesting thing yesterday, and I think I almost fell down out of shock. But when I recovered myself, I just said, well, it's one of those things. And the people were talking as to why Buhari is doing what he's doing and what they have on him. So I once heard when someone said that there was some kind of conversation going on between Buhari and Biden, and Buhari's words were, "My hands are tied." And the person went on to explain, from what I heard yesterday, now I kind of understand why his hands are tied. And then I just sent another thing to you. I don't know how true that one is because, lots of propaganda going around to cut off people's mindset. But the little what this the second one I sent to you was somebody saying that Wike he has another nationality and he's gotten the passport already to a country, just in case Obi comes in or Atiku swears in, then he knows he's fried and they're going to go after him. So he already has his paperwork in case he needs to jackpot. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting what is going on, but I think it's a kind of new interesting because for once, even the boy selling pure water on the streets in Lagos is interested in politics. Interested to the point where people are not, to the point where he knows what is right and what is wrong. And he wants to have a say. And even if he did not want to have a say, because a particular sector is being seriously marginalized, he's now interested. Earlier on today, I saw also on Twitter that they had set fire on Alaba International Market. So you can imagine the thousands of people that will not have means of living, will not, some of those boys actually sleep in those stalls. I know that because it used to be an area that I walked around quite often. Um, so you continue to do things to annoy people. And then on Twitter as well, I heard where the Minister of Foreign Affairs came out and said why Igbos were left behind in Sudan. That might be stale news because that's not new. But I'm saying all these things to say there's so much to look at, that the presidency, the illegitimacy of this presidency is opening up things. And we should all be interested, and we should all look for our certain places to perch on, either to be forward or to give a boost behind, or to just say something. If they say if you know something, say something. So we're at that point. And listening to Falana talking right now, he's reiterating so many things. I was trying to see if I could see a part where I just saw right now on Twitter where Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, "I will continue on Yaradua's footstep." And when I heard Falana openly saying that, sorry, when I heard Falana saying that Yaradua openly acknowledged that the election that brought him in was flawed, Tinubu knows that he did not do well. He's now gradually admitting it. Because if you're saying you're going to follow in Yaradua's footstep, what Yaradua's footstep are you going to follow? Is it the fact that after a few days you will buy? Abi, is it in the fact that I know what brought me here, so I'm okay with it? What footsteps are you following exactly? That's a vague statement. Be specific. And it is also sad that in a world where people are looking for how to invent the new medication and how to sustain their people and how to offer the necessary help to anybody that needs help, what we are digressing and sitting on is how to legitimate a well-known drug lord. And I say well-known because a few days ago, as I heard yesterday as well, a station in Chicago highlighted this man and all his ills. So, and then I also heard that Nigerians were being told to leave Ghana. And that's just one country. And countries that could not even breathe openly when we were talking now have the audacity to look us straight in the eye and call us for who we are. That's in my opinion, that's like 20 years set backward, if not more. And all because of one person. It's amazing. Just one person opening up this can of worms, allowing us to be spoken to anyhow, giving us such a bad aura that we think from miles away, just the name. It's really, really sad, and it's worrisome. In fact, if you're not worried, then that means you have accepted that wherever you are, if you're not in Nigeria, you're okay with, and you do not want to bother going back home. But if you still have loved ones, then it is worrisome, because that means I don't know anywhere, maybe except people in Europe, that would go on a direct flight to Nigeria. But if you're anywhere in the Americas, in the Asia, you definitely have to do, a stop layover flight. And that means being open to check. And anytime your passport is coming because you don't want to request for a visa, you are going to go with your green passport. It's not going to be, hey, walking as usual. Before, it used to be like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what you're going to do or whatever, or how you look. Now it's going to be a whole 1 hour, if not a whole day. That will be, in fact, they will have a line Nigeria. written on it. If you have Nigerian passport, stay here. It's going to be seen for the whole world to see. That's what we're going to be dealing with. So it's really, really extremely worrisome that this is the kind of individual that the old men that have refused to enjoy their old age have pushed us into. I read an interesting article that said that the old men in power enjoyed a Nigeria that was beautiful. And I saw the Nigerian Airways plane fly. And I remembered one time how I was so proud of it. I look forward to being an air hostess because the green white uniform was so beautiful and very admirable. And the girls were, really cute. And I mean, I still have that image in my head. My neighbor's wife was an air hostess, and I always wanted to be one. To the point where we don't even have an airline, let alone to be proud of a green, white, green. That's where we are. And that's the sad reality. So please, everybody, wherever you can get information, but let it be the sincere one. Let's pay attention, because so many people that talk, there are underlying messages. Listen to what is not being said, because a lot of them say things, but there are some things that are not said that means quite a lot. I'll let you continue, my sister, and give other people a chance.
Thank you very much, Bibi. Thank you. You came through with some information today. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to replay to catch what you said again a second time. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Black Panther, welcome. Oh, good evening. Happy Friday to you, my brother. Are you
Yeah.
all right?
Good evening, Auntie.
Good
Auntie
evening,
Omoye.
Ogasa.
You are an awesome person.
Thank you.
And then God has blessed you so much because you're precise in everything you do.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for those kind comments. I really appreciate it.
And I thank all the participants we have right here now and all the viewers and the commenters and those that patriots that are on ground that are still in the battlefield, because I call Nigeria a battlefield. I thank them for being steadfast. I thank them for digging deep. I thank them for putting away the tears of the lost ones in the battlefield. I thank them for forging ahead to bring about a new Nigeria that will take off the vampires that have eaten deep into the bone marrow of the foundation of Nigeria. And as we are raising now, trying to build a new foundation, it is now or never. If we refuse to do any impact in building a new foundation, then we have set aside that we'll see Nigeria no more. And I'm saying this word because it is very difficult for you to refuse where you have come, where you came from, a place of home of death, no matter where you are. Sometimes when I think about what is happening in Nigeria, when I started my fight when I was in the university, it was like a child's play when I speak to people. Now this Nigeria we see today as we're in school, we might not be able to see because our eyes will be filled with tears. And this is exactly the picture I saw. That there will be a constitutional breakdown because we have no constitution. And as May 29 comes in, this is the beginning where every parcel of the Nigerian constitution will be torn. May 29, one part will be torn. We'll begin to talk about the legitimacy of a president. We'll begin to talk about the old people that gathered together to destroy the country. And what comes into our mind? We ask ourselves, are these people Nigerians? I ask myself every day, are these people Nigerians? In my mind, I see them as a mirage that we see from the far front, but we refuse to say these men have come to destroy. But we that have stood far, we have seen that they've come to destroy. That is why we are steadfast in everything we are doing. I would like to thank the patron that just spoke this hour. She has disseminated the information, the vital information that has been given. But people, they've seen this information before the information came. That is why you see many of them are in a tent. They cannot speak as they were speaking before because they knew that the person coming in is going to crush the foundation and what the past heroes of Nigeria they have built for more than a century, for more than years upon years, is going to be crushed. And this is a man that we don't know where he comes from. We don't know his identity. A person that replaced the identity of a person and brought it upon himself and begin to bear that identity. We are in a very big situation. Now, most Nigeria will walk into a place and they will be refused. They will be stoned because they allowed evil to take his abode. And they allow the constitution of the country that they look up to as a messiah to take them out of the wilderness. Africa is still looking up to Nigeria. Because when Nigeria arise, every African will arise. When we begin to see our country first before our tribe, then Nigeria has arisen. When we begin to see corruption as a sin, then Nigeria has arisen. Now, we're talking about what else can we do? What we need to do. I have earlier spoken. Do we know the mindset of the military? Nobody has been able to answer that question. If you put to the table now that I put it to vote that do you want this civilian regime or do you want the military regime? I bet you, I stand to be corrected, 75% of Nigeria will wake up and say they want the military regime.
My brother, you're very true. I didn't mean to cut him, but it's true.
When all the factors are laid down and everything, and we put into referendum, Nigeria would love to have the military. And I keep on saying it. Do we know the mindset of the military? Because if the military comes in, we are closing our eyes to what is happening in Sudan. Sudan issue did not come like this. It started the way it started. And when Sudan was broken up, the section, the southern Sudan, the northern Sudan, they started balkanizing their country. And the civilian was given the power to rule. And when the rule started time, they disseminate and destroy the foundation, and their constitution was halted by the same civilians. And the military came in and swore, because they fought for the stability of their country, and they swore never to allow the civilian to come in again. This is the battle. And people will say, oh, if military comes in, the United Nations will do blah, blah. They don't have power over the sovereignty of any nation. The way you lie your bed is the way you sleep on. If we decide to embrace the military, which they came, they didn't kill us the way our own fellow civilians are killing us now. Many people don't.
Please.
Oh, by us now. Many of us have not witnessed it. I cry for our brothers and our brothers in the north. I cry for our brothers in the east. I cry for our brothers in the west that have lost patriots, that have lost their loved ones. But what happened to others? Because of greed, we refuse to focus on the things that have destroyed us. Rather, we come, some of us do come here and talk on a tribal platform. We know the tribal platform. We know your tribe is important. But when you are building a nation, you have to be silenced about that. Let history teach our youth about our tribe. But don't put it on a platform where it segregates us and we are not focused and we don't look at the country, Nigeria. When they call us giant of Africa, it was not a man that wrote that. It was God that made it so. We are indeed the giant. When you go out before, when Nigeria was Nigeria, when you go out, you see you're in Nigeria, other African countries will look up to you. Even now, despite everything, when you walk into a place, when you speak, they will say, this is Nigeria. Because God has bestowed upon us, as he has bestowed upon the United States, to lead. That is how he has bestowed upon Nigeria to lead Africa. But what happened? We are disseminating, we are destroying ourselves, all because of two words, tribe and religion. And we allow the intruder to come in from various nations surrounding Africa to tear us apart. It's time for us to think inward and make use of the informations that are coming out. To me, I don't believe in the bar system in Nigeria. I don't believe in the police system. When people cry about police comes out to say we have not been paid. How many times have we not heard this? I have not lost my memory. I have heard it several times. These are things they use to bring us down, to stay on their side again. These are planned. I come from that constituency. I know every gimmick they use. I have been chastised by them, despite I came in, but they couldn't do me nothing because I know who I am. So my sister, everyone here, we should think what we should think about. Think about the soul we've lost. Think about our brothers that have died. Think about those kids, more than 100,000 that have now become orphans. That will trigger us to continue to fight until we see that new Nigeria come alive. No matter how many years it will take us, we will fight. South Africa fought, souls were lost. They fought and it became their country today. We are going to fight until we win this. We are going to continue to fight. And we'll fight till the last man standing will win this battle. Thank you, Sister Omoye. Thank you, every patriot that have stood their ground to fight this cause. Let no one trickle down. If you are seeing yourself trickle down, remember the orphans. Remember the orphans, the more than 100,000 orphans from the north. Remember those in the east that they went into their home, into their village, and destroy and kill mothers and children right inside their home, and buy mothers and children right inside their home. Remember that they kept a man in the prison that had done nothing, that even their system said, release this man has not committed any offense. We should all remember that. That will trigger, and our faith will rise, and we'll continue to fight this battle. This battle is a long battle. We will fight it, and we are going to win. I focus on the man called Obi because I know God has placed in him something different that is making a paveway for every one of us to rise up and fight. We have not done this before, where people from the south, the brethren, the patriots from the south, the north, and the west rose up and said they are going to follow this man. God bless every patriot. God bless everyone, and God bless the patriot on ground. We are going to drag those that have not heard the message. We are going to drag those that are still in the dungeon, in the cage of these hypocrites. We are going to drag them to see the light that we must win this fight. God bless you, Sister Amoya.
My brother, thank you very much. Oh. I mean, you and BB una bring pensive mood come. You guys brought information that has made people pensive, like you deep thoughts. But you know what? There's light at the end of the tunnel. Don't ask me where I'm getting my courage from. I know that we will win this. We will definitely win this. I don't know how, but I know we're going to surely win this. I want, as Nigerians, we have to remain focused. I think there's never been a time as such as this that we all need to really, really stand firm and fight for what is ours. This is the only time. I don't know why I feel this way, but this is the only time that we're going to get to do this. If we miss this opportunity, it's gone forever. It is gone forever. When I say that, sometimes I direct my attention to the women in Nigerian society, people would think that, what is wrong with this girl? Does she know? The truth is, as a woman, your life is almost worthless in Nigeria. Can't you see that already? I mean, is the handwriting not already on the wall? I'm not saying it's perfect in the world, but in Nigeria, your state is worse. You don't have a voice in your home. You get married, the man can throw you out anyhow he wants. You have children, he doesn't care about those children. You have to literally raise them yourself for most of these men who do not take care of the children. But I digress. The whole reason why I'm saying this is the reason why the women should rise up. At this point in time, nobody should be busy doing or concerned about other issues that don't matter. This is what matters. This is what matters. You keep marrying men, having children that will become slaves tomorrow. Make it make sense. And you don't think there's something wrong with that? Your society does not provide anything for you. You don't have good hospitals to even birth these children. You don't. Half of the women, they buy on the bed stool in Nigeria. It's crazy. And you keep doing the same thing. How do you want it to change? How do you want it to change? You know, I know some people will say, oh, some of these women, they don't work, they don't do anything, their husband. But guess what, though? There comes a time in someone's life, you say, damn the consequences. You say, to hell with all of that. If I perish, I perish. You are not, nobody's living a good life in Nigeria. So what is there? You're just one mistake away from something happening, something terrible happening. The roads are not safe. You can't drive at night, you can't drive during the day. What kind of life is that? You can be robbed at any time, you can be maimed at any time, you can be taken away at any time. It doesn't make any sense. It's about time for that society to shut down all the way, with all the women in the street saying, you know what, you men, you have failed us. We are taking this back. But no, everybody's just carrying on like, oh, you know what? But at the end of the day, I have, in as much as I say that, there are also people who are standing firm and are fighting. There are also people that are standing firm and are fighting for what we're fighting for right now. And they are in the majority. I'm grateful. I'm thankful for that. I'm really thankful that they're in the majority. But we have to keep calling out people we need to call out. This is a literal war that's happening. We don't understand. People are living like, human beings are living like less than animals in Nigeria. Less than animals. Look at the video of the young police people that came out and were crying that they are not paid. They have to depend on extortions and all of that. Well, when we're rioting, when we're fighting, crying, some of them may have been part of the people who were snatching ballots. They must have been part of the people who stood idly by when other people were being maimed or hurt in one way or the other. You know, Michael, welcome. Oh, good to have you.
Yeah, sorry. This, my time here in China now. It's kind of
We can
different from.
barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I just got back from class. It's afternoon here in China.
Oh,
So
okay. Welcome back.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where you guys are. I just wanted to join the show. I just came back from class and I immediately joined the show.
Oh, okay. You have to watch the video from beginning. I can't capture everything for you. It's not possible. So
No,
you
it's fine.
probably when you have time, yeah. But you can.
Yeah,
I
so I
mean,
should do
you
that.
can listen in. Yeah.
Yeah, I should do that.
So it's, I just think, can you mute Michael? Can you mute your mic?
Okay.
Yeah, So I mean, we really are at the brink right now in Nigeria. We really are there, and we need to be pensive, and we need to be in that mood where we just have to put in our all. We have no other place to call our home. That's the only place we know. Are we just going to fold our hands and let somebody who is not even Nigerian come and ruin and do further damage to it? Are we going to fold our hands? At the end of the day, no matter what is being said, no matter what's being done, it still depends on us, the people. It really still depends on us, the people. If the choice is ours, are we going to fold our hands and watch? I don't care what propaganda is going on. I don't care what, who's who, who's saying what's going on behind the scenes. If we, the people, come together and say, no, we don't want this, and we push for it, it will happen. It will not happen because we have that. That's how much power we have. But the point is, do we recognize that? Because we're still divided along very irrelevant lines, very irrelevant, insignificant, that does not that does not help you buy, it does not affect the price of garri in the market. No matter how much of a religious bigot you are, how tribalistic you are still going to buy garri the same price that everybody else is buying it. You are still going to enter that jalopy car and drive that on that road that is not good. You are still at the risk of being taken away from your family. You are still at risk of being deleted finally. So you see how nonsensical this whole religious bigotry and tribal tendencies are. It's a waste of time. It's okay to be proud of where you come from. It really is. But the moment we start to understand that this fight is not just about a tribe, it's about us as a people. It really is it's time for us to sit down and really think deeply about this. It hurts me because it looks like in Nigeria people are just carrying on. You just see women say they're excited, doing party, going for party to party. They are doing, oh, this one, oh, I want to marry, I marry, oh, I must marry, oh, when, Lord, when will I have everybody? So, but the most important thing that matters most, if there's no country, you're not going to be having all those things anymore. We don't even have find time. Majority of people don't find time to sit down and say, no, let's abeg o, it's time for us to know what we're doing. There's time for everything. It's time to
Ajomoye,
grow.
can I say something when you're done, please?
Sure, sure, go. So it's time for us to really think and decide what direction we want to go as a country. We cannot fold our hands and allow this evil come to be. That means that there's something fundamentally wrong with us as a people if this happens. That's what it means. Bibi, you can go ahead.
So when the other brother said something, and he mentioned something about the girl child, what always comes to my face is how impoverished the girls in the Middle East are. And I remember one documentary I watched, and how I think this girl must have been maybe 9 or 11, and her words stuck into my head. I don't want to be another Malala Yusuf. I don't. She just kept on crying. That was all she was crying. Because, it's not just enough to be seen in their world, but it's to be used. And we've heard of stories of where kids are underaged and they get married. And we heard one time when we had the epidemic of the disease that was worrying young girls because they were not old enough to carry babies, but due to them being forced into womanhood, they have a disease that cannot allow them to hold their pee for a long time. And they go about, they would do that and smell, but it's not as if the problems they have those problems because of what has been done to them. They have been introduced into a way that their bodies are not particularly matured for. And now we have these peoples, they are in different villages. We're hearing that they're giving them citizenship, they're welcoming them. And somebody asked me to contribute something. So I had to do a little bit of research and was shocked to see about 10.5 million female children in the North are not educated. 10.5 million. The reason why we make it on our own side, the East and the West, is because we push it. And thank God for our that decided to build those blocks that people call chicken coop, but today has produced quite a lot of notable, influential people. Thank God to that. But that is what is happening in that part of the world. So you can imagine if it is transferred and all they put their ruling all over the whole place, what these people will do. Because Tinubu doesn't care. He doesn't care who gets educated. He doesn't even care if we have an education. If under Buhari, the schools were closed for 8 months, under Tinubu, it will be closed. We will have two full cycles of kids at home. That is 4-year programs shuts down, 8 years program shuts down. When his trucks used to park at Apapa with his oil tankers, we saw what it did. So the point is, wherever this guy goes into, he stinks to the high heavens. He is smelling. His odor is so infuriating. That's what it means. And that's what we have against. And now the population in Nigeria, 40% are youth. I think it's 40 or 60. I stand to be corrected. Are youth. Don't have a future, high on coding. Now you want to bring in the white powder laced in different colors. I mean, as wonderful as this country that we are in, or wherever you are, they are fighting their own thing. They are fighting it and they're not succeeding. And these are established places that have systems in place to check things, yet they cannot even control it. Imagine it being in a place where there was no system at all. What will happen? What will happen to those little kids that hawk on the streets in Lagos? What will happen to that village boy that the mother cannot afford to send to school and they have to sit inside in front of the kiosk to sell things? What will happen to that young boy that has to go to an uncompleted building to help in building so that he can sustain his family at home? What will happen to that girl that has to go and fetch water by the well and talking with other kids and see one idiot that comes to start misbehaving? What will happen to that girl hawking in residential places and a stupid fool calls her inside and says, "Come here, let me buy something from you"? What will happen to those places? What will happen to those motor parks and those bus stops where there is absolutely no control and absolutely no policy, no police in place? What will happen to the police that they only have the thing in their hand and they feel like lords? There will be complete 150% breakdown of law and order. Why? Because the person that is supposed to be in charge of a country does not even understand, let alone appreciate what law and order is. That's what we are walking into. And like Omoye said, I see the weddings and God, I have nothing against weddings. I love weddings. But you see, I sometimes wonder, am I worrying more than the people that are back home? Because they don't even look as if they're worried. But then I get it. They have to live like that to sustain themselves for another day. Because really, if they cry all the time, where is the strength to go on? They have to put some things into joke. They have to make it lively for themselves. And now, we're how many days? Wait, this is I have jury duty sometime next week. So we start counting. I have to deliberately take my off social media because I am so worried of what will be. If this man had an ounce of good character in him, I would have said, you know what, we can help him to push the good character. But the thing is, the man does not even understand. He doesn't even know there's a word called good character, let alone to understand it, now to even start looking like one. And he surrounds himself with people that are just like that. Oh my, I wish you would look at that letter, because that letter got me worried. Because somebody made a statement yesterday and I had to sit back and, God, I felt so deflated. Somebody said, think about this. We are not just fighting against this man, we are fighting against the system that is backing him up, the cartels and the cabals that have all the coins necessary. We are fighting against people that have impoverished their own country and they just want another way out. And this man is just handing them that way out on a platter of gold. So we're not just fighting him, he has backings because his money seems to have no end. There's no drying in his well. And that's why we should be concerned. The Middle East is filled with their own type. That even they give to the pregnant women, say they take because it helps them to sustain milk production when they have no other food to eat and they have to nurse their babies. They have that. It's like a legal thing there. Already we're seeing the decay of what is happening in our own place with kids drinking codeine, and codeine you can walk into any pharmacy at home and buy it. The sad part is that is not the only thing inside it. And it's available for everybody and it's in small quantities. So please, let's reflect on that. Let's chew on that. Let that marinate in our system to understand how barbaric it will be to bring this human to anywhere close. In fact, I don't even want him to be an aid to anybody in power, let alone be in power. That's how bad he is. He is major times 10 bad news. I yield on Moya. You can continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I hear everything you're saying, Bibi. At the end of the day, the power still lies in the hands of the people. This is why it is very important for the people to be united. I don't care how many people are backing him up. I do not care. They are not more than, the people that are backing him up are not more than 200 million people. Over 200 million people strong. If the people do not unite and do not speak with one voice to get this, that is where we have a problem. So of course, evil will continue to do what it does best, evil. So until light comes, there's no way that evil is going to back down. It's just that simple. I'm not buying into, I get it that, it's a dire situation. We all know that. But at the same time, this is why we need to drive home the need to be united so we can fight this together. If we're not united, we will not be able to fight this. We will not. That's just the truth. How many there be? How many dem be? Are they more than 200 million people strong? That's the question that everybody should be asking. This is not the time to throw hands in the air and say, oh, well, these people are too strong. There's no way. Then guess what? Then you've signed up for a life of perpetual slavery. That's what it means. That's exactly what it means. That means every child your person is bringing, giving birth to, they are going to be future slaves. Yeah, that's what it means. I don't care what's going on. I don't care whether FBI get file, not release file. I don't care whether cabal gather. I don't care whether na drug pin gather. If the people not unite, decide say we are taking these people down, yes, they go win. Now the power still lies with the people. I believe we can take this back if we speak with one voice and we are united. It's just as simple as that. One love, welcome, oh my brother. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Friday to you. How are you doing?
Happy Friday to you guys and everyone in the panel. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. I was just listening to you guys. I just joined, but it appears you guys are discussing something else. But I'm sure you guys are also trying to touch on our judiciary. So
Yeah, we touched a bit on that. I played a video with Mr. Femi Falana where he came to talk. He said they should try and do the tribunal. They can do the tribunal within 14 days, right? Before the tribunal, before the inauguration, so that everybody will know exactly what they are. And then, BB brought some information. Also, Black Panther, they spoke very passionately, and that will make you like, deep, like, oh my God, But I was just saying that regardless of what is happening behind the scenes, if the people don't unite with one voice and choose to take these people down, nothing will be done. We will be here singing Kumbaya all over again. Because already we know the road that these people are taking us. We know that it's booker time for the girls. That means that no education for anybody again in Nigeria. Forget education. Nobody will be going to school again. And then all the boys will become slaves, perpetual slaves. They'll become amajiris all over Nigeria. They'll be thrown into a depth of poverty that the generation of Nigerians have never experienced before. So my question to you all as Nigerians, what are you going to do about it? That's the question. Because if 200 million strong people choose one voice and say, okay, we are tired, we perish, we move, then these people will not achieve their aim. But if we are silent and docile and turn the other side, because people concern me, my family, people, even affect them. So anything wey wan happen go happen. Okay, then we have not started. We're on a long thing.
yeah, that's the issue. We always have this issue of not being able to unite. I think that's what they are exploring. They divide us by religion, cultural line, ethnicity. But I keep saying it, when they are trying to steal money, they don't follow that pattern. And I think I listened a little bit to BBMJ when she said that the people at home, they don't, I think she said something, but they don't see it as a problem that in the situation that they are going through. Sometimes you don't blame them because a lot of these people don't know what is going on. The literacy rate in Nigeria is almost at the 99.9%. And that is what the politicians want. They want to keep people in that level so they can oppress them. They don't want anybody to be educated because if you are educated, you are going to rise up against them. If you look at what happened in 2000, Bush versus Gore, that case was pretty much determined. I try not to compare Nigeria and the United States, but sometimes we have to look at some issues if we want to move forward. That case was determined in December, and President Bush was sworn in January. I don't see any reason why we have a case in court, a presidential case in court that is the most important case you can ever think of in the country. And we are going to sworn in a person when there is a case in court. I don't see how that makes sense. You know, they are playing this as if it's a kindergarten play, some sort of I don't get it. This just shows to the world again that we are not serious. Our country is not serious. Our leaders they don't know what they are doing. You know, it's as if things are being done in a zoo or something. I mean, sometimes people say Nigeria is a zoo, but I am going to disagree a little bit because in a zoo, when you go to a zoo, you have different animals. These animals live together because they have laws and they follow their laws. You know, when I was growing up watching some animal documentary, when some of the species, when they do something wrong, you see how they are punished. That's because they have laws in that animal kingdom. I don't know why where we are living, because I don't even think Nigeria should be qualified as a zoo because even in a zoo they have laws. Our laws are not being followed. They are broken by those who set the laws. I listened to Charlie Boy today. I was crying. I'm like, now his concern was, what is Tinubu coming to do? Who is he coming to govern? By by what law? The same law that he broke? What laws is he going to use? Because the laws we already said they broke all of them. I don't know. I don't know what is going on in Nigeria. Everything is messed up. So they want to keep people silent by not educating them. Women are not educated in the north. That was how Boko Haram came out to be, anyways, because they knew somebody who was from the south was the president, and they just used that opportunity. You know, people are not in school. Infant mortality is high, underage pregnancy, so many stuff. You know, and now we have an election that is not even clean, is not even fair, and we want to have a leader that wants to fight corruption. That is so ironic. I listened to Tinubu saying, I will fight corruption. I'm like, what is this man talking about? Can corruption fight corruption? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to happen. So, my goal here is to make sure that Peter Obi get his mandate back. I don't know who this guy is that you have on your platform, Dr. Jeffrey Gutman or something like that.
Yeah, the guy is on Twitter. The guy is always, I mean, since this whole Obi thing, the guy he's an obedient too. He's an
Yeah,
American. He's always fighting for obedience. He went and requested the Agbado file from the FBI. So
yeah.
that's the response that he said he got. Let me read it because I don't think you guys can really see it. Let me see if I can enlarge it a little bit on my screen. Can you see better now?
Yeah, I can say it.
Okay, let's see it. Yeah. Okay, let me do this. Let me see if I can do it here. Yeah, you guys can see. Okay, let me just read it. It says, below a copy of a letter I received today from the FBI regarding my request based on the Freedom of Information Act for the FBI file on Bola Tinubu. My request, sorry, my request was rejected because, according to the FBI, the existence of files on third party individuals will neither be confirmed or denied by the FBI due to unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. I found it noteworthy that in my online submission, I referred to Tinubu as Bola Tinubu, but in their letter, the FBI referred to him as Tinubu Bola Ahmed. Hmm. How would the FBI access the Ahmed part of his name? Again, I did not provide the Ahmed part of his name in my submission. Moreover, it is public knowledge that the FBI has a file on Tinubu for his 460,000 for feature on the US. The letter also states that if I received their response through standard mail, which I did, this is because my online submission did not meet the terms of service. According to the letter, my options are 1. Submit any questions by email or call their office. 2. Administratively appeal their decision within 90 days of the date of the letter. And or 3. Seek dispute resolution by email. I will consider my next option. So this is the letter that he got from them. Mm. So that's that's basically it. That's I wanted to showcase it because
Yeah, at least that's a foreigner fighting
yeah,
for
he's
us.
fighting for us exactly. So that's why I said in all of this, right? And I mean, I understand how everybody feels, and we all know what the doom and gloom is for these people that are trying to come in. But I still stand by if the people, and I dare say, majority of the people who are those who believe in the truth, those called obedience, those people of character and integrity that are standing for the betterment of Nigeria were in the majority. That's just a fact, you know. So it is only if we're silent and we're not talking and we're not doing what we need to do, that is when that's when we're in big problem. Because I tell you, I don't know these people. I don't know anybody Agbadu or anything like that. But I can tell you for free, they are rattled because they've never seen this type of pushback before. Elections have been held in Nigeria. It's not the first time they have rigged elections. They've been rigging it for 60 freaking years. Minus the military rule. Even with the military, they were overthrowing each other. Do you understand? So it all the buck still fall on the people. If the people don't want this, it will not happen. It is only if the people fold their hands and say, "Oh well, nothing to do. You just accept our fate." You better do it now because either way, or by na by, you do it now or you wait for turn by turn. This time they won't even knock on your door. They will just come and approach you from wherever you are. It will be, in fact, the suffering, I don't know how to describe it. When they talk about hell, I think it will be, you'll be experiencing hell times 1,000 on in Nigeria if we don't do this right. That's just the truth. It's still the people that have the power. It is if the people fold their hands and do nothing, that is when this charade will continue. If the people don't, I guarantee you it will not happen. It won't. It's just that simple. And if God forbid that happens, that means Nigerians have not learnt their lesson. That's just what it means. Because the creator, the universe that made all things seen and unseen, he's not wicked. He's giving us all the tools we need to make sure we have a life of peace here in this space. The question is, are we doing what we're supposed to do to actually achieve that? That's the problem. Because the problem we're talking about, it is a human problem. It is not a spiritual problem, it's a human problem. We all see the demonic person that they are patrolling around. The question is, what are you going to do about it? That's the question. Power belongs to the people. If the people don't do what they're supposed to do, these demonic people will continue to run the affairs of the country. It's just that simple. So we need to tighten our belts and be ready because you only know today, you don't know tomorrow. Most of us here, some of us here are parents. You have children. You don't know where your children are going to end up tomorrow. You have no idea. You don't know. You don't know. If anything, God forbid, happens on this land, where are you supposed to run to? Is it not home? If there's no home to run to, Biko, what do you then do? You are not loved overseas. You are not loved in the abroad. In your own house again, you won't have peace. Please make it make sense. So we better know what we are doing right now, or we just accept and say, as in some of these fake men of God parading themselves and tell you accept is the will of God. If that's what you want to buy into, you sabi, is the person's children and children's children that will become slaves forever, because that's what it is. Because this man is coming to sell everybody off. I'm telling you, organ transplant, that won't be an issue anymore. People will just come and pick a whole full human being, pay a price on them and take them and let do whatever they want to do. So it is time to do what is needed to be done, nothing else. Otherwise, we just keep dancing around this same circle. Let's just let me start wrapping up. Mama Echo, are you still here with us?
Um,
Go ahead, one love.
uh, uh, I mean, I saw something online. I'm not sure how true it is. The Somebody on Twitter said something about Peter Obi hiring a Russian lawyer. Is that true?
That's the second time I'm hearing that. I haven't heard it, I haven't seen it, so I can't even speak to that.
I,
I
I
think
saw it as well, but I don't think it's true.
I think that is probably that is a propaganda. No, it's not.
I think
Yeah,
so too.
that's kind of what I
It
thought. These
doesn't. It
APC
doesn't
guys are
look
all
real.
over the place.
It doesn't look real.
Yeah,
Remember, in this space, we still have Agbadorians that still come to do their stuff.
yeah, yeah.
It is what it is. What is happening in Nigeria, it has happened several places. It has happened in Germany. It has happened in Italy. Even Italy case in the early 90s. It was. They occupy the mafians occupy everywhere. How they overcome it. There were few police, people, and also the judiciary, few of them, though they buy some judiciary members, but in the end they won. So they stood firm and they won. So even in Brazil they overcame. So Nigeria is not exemptional. That is why I know that we are going to win this war, because it's normal. It has happened in other countries, and this our own is not different. That is why we must stand firm. We continue to stand firm, because our principal said, we will remain until these people leave. We will not leave. We will remain until they leave, because they must go. That is it.
Exactly. Until they go. That is the spirit right there. Until they go. And that's what majority of all of us should be saying. I don't care what plan these people have. I'm telling you, the people have more power than these people. It's just that simple. You know, yes, there'll be a lot of things going on. Yes, Kabal, do you know without your permission, they can't do anything? Without your permission, darkness cannot function. It's like walking into a room, everywhere is dark. If you don't turn on the light, you think the light will just automatic, unless you have you live in a house where you clap your hands, your light responds to to sensors, or responds to your movement or whatever. But if you don't come in, the light is not going to respond to you, though. It's going to remain dark. So it's the same thing we're talking about here. If we, the people, are quiet in this deep darkness, then we have signed the contract by keeping quiet. We've just as well signed off the contract and say, yeah, do whatever you want to do. But if the people say never, it's not going to happen. Not on my watch, not on my time. No matter how strong the cabal is, they will bow to the people. It's just a fact. It happens all over the world. Even here in the United States, there are certain things the government cannot do because of the reaction of the people. The government needs to fear you as the people. When the government does not have any respect and regard for you, because every time they do day you run, guess what? They will keep doing it and they will keep pushing. They will push and keep pushing. They are testing your limits. This is the time, oh, I don't care what anybody says, oh, let them be 10 cabal 5 wetin dey get, na only money dey get, money dey grow with e dey finish. That money dem fit carry am put for inside one place, go just all everything fire go just catch everything, go just burn reach ground. Na today, nothing wey person never hear for this world o. We've read history, we've known what's been how we've happened before. So these things that are happening now, it's not like they haven't happened in other places before. Ours is just a unique situation because we are now left to carry the heavy load of generations to fight this once and for all. And I say, let's go there, let's do it. Oh, we're not going to live forever anyway. How do you want to go? It's not how long you live, how well you live. How well you live. That's what matters. It's not how long. Not be when you live 80 years, you don't have anything. See 80-year people, they shit for church. They take Bible clean ash. Go come national TV channel, they lie, bold-faced lie. 80-year-old, what do you have to lose, my for goodness sake? Great-grandfathers lying. Only one or two people, old men, are coming out to speak the truth. There's a fundamental problem. We need to fight it now. Ohorelo. That's what they call it in my language. Ohorelo. The translation, I can't translate it in English. It will not make sense. It's deeper than what I just said. If I were to translate it in English, it will not have that deep meaning anymore. Ohorelo. Hey! My people, let's start wrapping up. Madam Echo, are you still with us? Abi you don't fall asleep? Okay, Madam Echo has fallen asleep. Mazi Ogbonna, you still there here? Or you sef don't fall asleep because you woke up early today. Okay, it's falling
And Samoye,
yes, sir.
and their wives are all accomplices.
Exactly. They all are because they are all protecting. Oh, my husband.
If you watch when they gave Tinubu the Agbado that placard for election, you see the face of the wife.
Yeah, she didn't look happy. Oh,
she didn't look happy. She was moody. She was sweating, and if you watch her, that woman is more than a Capone.
exactly.
That woman got into the church, buy her way into the church, and became a deaconess.
Isn't it a shame that she can buy her
that
way
to tell you how
that's a problem
strong
already.
Into illegality that woman has been. For her to buy herself, and she will dress like an Esu woman while she is in church. No earring, nothing.
That's so now. That's what
Then she will now come forward and be deceiving Nigeria, calling different tribes, especially during the election that Sanwo-Olu, was this Sanwo-Olu first election? If you see the way he embarrassed the people, the Easterner in Lagos, you will cry.
About that, my brother, I want to be.
I looked at her. I said, if I have the power, I will just say disappear. I'll take her out. Very wicked woman. I'm not surprised her children, they are nothing to write home about.
Anyway, yeah, thank you very much, Black Panther. Let me quickly round this up. Mazi Ogbonna, you can speak now. Your final comments, make we dey go abeg. I wan go sleep. Mazi Ogbonna,
Yes. Yes.
Give us your final thought, abeg.
Well, our mandate is ours. That's my honor. I don't know what they want to do again. All their propaganda, all their money where they collect, all the $1 to $2 where they collect. The one when they don't collect since when they were born, no reach them. And this one they collect. This one go enter their pocket, go drop for grant because what they are collecting it for is not right. They don't look, they don't see how Nigeria is now. They don't see how things is going. They don't see the election. They don't see the violence on the election day. They don't see how people came out to vote for our man. Our man. They don't see it around the whole Nigeria. We know all these things, but all these old cargoes, old brain that are outdated, that don't have anything to offer us again. They are still coming to say one thing or two to make sure they cover the evil. See, there are many. Mama Echo said something yesterday. He said about women should close the wrapper for men against men, so that Nigeria will be better. That this mandate should be given to us. So that if they close their down for men, I'm supporting it too, so that men will stand up for the woman and the children yet unborn. Yes, now since when I was born, I never get one good thing out of this country. If I have my way, I will be out of this country. I will not come back again. But I don't have my way. What will I do? I have to keep struggling. Yeah. You want to do work, all the work you do will be the whole game will be on fuel, on unnecessary things that you don't know about. You pay for light, you don't see light. All those cargo. Factional, when it was coming in, you tell us that after 6 months, if they did not give Nigerians light, that they will resign. Now they did not resign. They are still there, trying to cover up many evil. These old men. You see this Apampa and what they call the other one. See what they see what they see. Old men. They cannot organize their family. Not to talk of some of them. They don't have wife and children at home. If you check very well, I'm telling you, that woman, the Tinubu's wife, apart from makeup, if you open up her hair, if you open up her makeup, you will see how wretched old is. If not money. Many people are dying poor. I get experience when I
not use
by sorry. I have experience. This time I have this as an accident. I went to hospital in Benin. We are there under some hours. 2 people gone. 2 people die on the spot. Not that they don't have money. They have the money. They have done the X-ray. They have done everything. The doctors failed to come and attend them in time. When I live there, we go to where we are in Abakaliki now. See many people suffering. The guy that is taking care of us, God is using the guy to take care of many people there. But there's no helper. If it is in country that have a helper and that government helps, this guy, well, by now, he have many workers. He will have many workers that will attend many people, because he's doing orthopedic and he's still using what they call it. He's still using injection to treat people. He's not educated though, but God is using him to do wonders. But all these talents, see, this country is burying many talents. Many good things have been buried down because of all these old cargoes. Look at Tinubu coming to be a president now. With all the mago, all the chitty way he do, all this thing. See, me, I don't fear. I just believe that by the time the court starts, we see good reason, very, very good reason to smile to our home, even to come together. Those of you that are there, you will be happy to come back home for us to celebrate this our mandate. I believe that God will do it for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother. May you take care. Oh, enjoy your day. Take am easy. Yeah. We'll see
Thank you.
again. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bibi, let's have your final word.
Well, until my year, first and foremost, thank you for always doing this. It takes a lot of energy, so I appreciate you and I applaud you. Always keeping the fire going, always gingering everybody up. It's really, really a lot of work. So I do not take your dedication to this for granted one bit. And there's nothing new to say. We all know it. I was just reading something now on Twitter again. I don't know how true it is. The defense minister coming to say that boldly they cannot have a drug lord as a president. Nobody knows if it's true or if it's another propaganda circulating around. But whatever the situation is, um, nobody should be comfortable until things are done well. That's my take on it. Nobody should feel comfortable. This is not there's nothing to jubilate. We only jubilate that we've seen another day. If you're opportune to see another day, to live, to smile, to share with family and friends, that's a good thing. But nobody should jubilate that we have a drug lord that is pending to become the next president. I'm not going to give him that accolade of calling. He's a president select. That is my term for him. If he's not that, he's an agbado or a con. Nobody should be comfortable too, because he has shown in all his charade the kind of person that he will be and the kind of things he will do without even being in power, officially, if such a thing will happen. And I'm keeping my eyes open. I don't know what will happen. I don't know how it will happen. I don't even know if anything will happen. But one thing is for sure, there's always one day for the bad person. And say every day na thief, one day now for the owner of the house. In day go come. As he don't carry him out, take open door, say he's going to continue what Yaradua did. Nobody know what's in that one mean. Whether not to continue towards the same journey way Yaradua they go, I been na because of how he take enter. We don't know. But now you open him out, they talk am so that if other people begin to follow and talk and making no vex, now him first attack that I shall continue on Yaradua. So I end there. Everybody have a lovely weekend. I am going to turn in early. Amoye, thank you once again. Please, please, please like the video, share the video, talk about it, let people get to know what's going on. This news is not under the rock. By now, even the stars and the different planets have heard our pleas and our cries. So please, like the video on your way out if you have forgotten to do so when you started the show. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much, sis. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your submission. Always bringing it all the way. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a wonderful night and take care of yourself. Um, One love. Let's have your final. Oh, one love just jackpot. Yeah. Okay. Black Panther. Okay, you are next.
Yes, so Sister Omoye, thank you once again. You're a lovely sister.
Thank
You
you.
know one thing about you. You came from a strong place where they not agree at all. Do state. Igba. You be rock. That is what it is. And I like your boldness and tenacity and your audacity. You have those what Obama said, the audacity of hope.
They put me for trouble sometimes.
You have that power, the audacity of hope. God bless you.
Thank you, man.
God bless you as you continue to drive home these words that will never be erased in the heart of the patriot. You have galvanized patriots all over, wherever they are, in every corner of the earth, to come together and forge a positive force towards the actualization of a new birth Nigeria. As some of our compatriots have spoken, so many countries have gone through the same thing we are going through. Brazil have gone through it, Italians have gone through it, even the Americans have gone through it.
That's true.
We are fighting a force that is refusing. Definitely they will refuse. You can't see a man that where he farm and till the soil and make his meal, make his daily bread. You now come, you want to take it. He will fight till his last blood. But thank God, the Bible says, "Let man be the lie and God be the truth." And we stand on the side of the truth. We are with God. If we are with God, we are the majority. We will not relent. As our principal have spoken, we will never relent. This battle, we must drive every one of them out of the land of Nigeria. We will drive every one of them. We will drive them out. And God will see us through. To everyone that has been losing hope, I call up every one of you, like I have spoken before. I said, if you remember the cry of so many patriots in the north, I remember more than 100,000 orphans who these men that call themselves politicians have destroyed their destiny. And if you remember those that fell while fighting for the emancipation of Nigerians in the Lekki toll gate, that will make you arise and forge ahead to the end point. I will carry the flag of Nigeria, green, white, green, and raise it high and said, we are victorious. Victoria Asata. God bless every one of you. As you go to bed this night, we will all rise up again the next day and forge ahead with this struggle.
Yes,
It is
so
a battle we must win.
absolutely.
God is with us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, and
You too.
we'll meet for the battlefront. So yeah, Pius, you're right, right? That's why the citizens have more power than the few elites or whatever they call themselves. If the citizens stand up, trust me, these people have nowhere to hide. They have nowhere to hide. They've just made some people feel like, oh, you can't do anything. So they speak those words and they do things because they have the full force of everything in their hands to make people, feel powerless. If the people show, oh my God. Hey, how many they want buy? How many? Michael, please give me your final thoughts. I know say you no get chance talk, but give me your final thoughts. Make I wrap this thing
Yeah.
up.
Sorry. My time difference here, they worry with the whole thing.
I know, I
Like,
understand.
our principal don't talk even before the election starts. Him talk say this thing it go happen. This thing where they go on, it go happen. Everything where they go on now, him don't see and say it go happen. So now, according to Amu, they relentless and prayerful also. You see this battle, we don't win and finish. Now, how they carry talk, how we carry celebrate with the thing. But as for this thing, we don't win and finish. We don't win and finish. The thing we don't win the whole case finish. Now just how to celebrate that we they talk about. I just wish
Exactly.
everybody good night. Wish everybody good night and sweet dreams. But as for this fight, we don't win and finish.
Yes, so
Now now song of victory now we define with one who go pick, who go carry sing. Because for this
exactly,
fight, we don't win and finish. Nothing
exactly,
come out again.
exactly. No, thank you, my brother. Now so That's so we don't win and finish. Now that mindset you need to get. Going into battle, you have to have the mindset that you're gonna win the battle. And you have to be prepared psychologically, mentally, physically, spiritually, all round. Know
And
that
that's
you
why and that's why he doesn't even respond to their propaganda and all this nonsense they come about with him. He doesn't even give ears to them because he knows all
yes,
these things are going to happen. He knows. So
yes.
just getting himself ready for the main thing.
Exactly. That's it. Me, I'm not, I mean, of course, I have my moments, but I'm not giving up. That Nigeria, you must, those people, evil people cannot have their way. Enough is enough. 60 years don't do. It's time to move forward.
Their time is over.
That time is over. Absolutely. All right, guys.
Time is
Thank you
over.
so much for joining me. I really appreciate to every one of you. Thanks to all the people that gave me a super chat today. I really, really appreciate all of you. I pray that your cup will continue to run and overflow. Okay, with every good thing that you desire for yourself. I don't take it for granted. You know, I'm just doing the one I can do. I'm not giving up because I just believe that there's something that's going to happen and we're going to get this back. And Peter Obi is going to be the president. I don't care what anybody says. We all need to come together and speak with one voice and push through to ensure that we get back our mandate. That's all I'm standing on. So I'm also speaking to you. Do not give up, do not relent. Please, let's take this home. We only a few days now remain. Let's make sure we get this. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I guess I'll see you again on my next one. Thank you. Bye.